You made the trip
so
down.
Glad,
And,
I get to watch everybody, I don't know how many times a week. And then obviously my Saturday night to find out what I should be reading, what I shouldn't be reading. There's all kinds of good stuff going on. So yeah, I was glad to meet everybody in person. You see everybody on YouTube all the time. Everybody kind of lives in different areas, and I'm in Texas now, so I'm not close to you anymore, Aaron. So it was good to see everybody. What a blast, man.
Yeah, I mean, with the exception of JC, everybody here on the panel so far was in Dallas.
Exactly.
And, it was kind of great because we get to meet all of the fans of Thinking Critical, everybody who watches us, and really get to interact with them on a personal level. And also they were like surprised, like they would come over and they would be talking, and then like Dylan would walk up and they'd be like, "Oh my God, Dylan's here!" It's like they didn't know, even though we kept talking about it on the show. We're all going to be here. So many of us are going to be here. They were still shocked and surprised, and that was a lot of fun. A lot of requests for "Where's Doc?" So we've got to tomorrow. We got to roast Doc for not coming.
A couple of very funny perch realizations where people just be standing right next to him and just be like, "Wait a second."
Yeah, it's like, "Are you Perch?"
Everyone just kind of looking around and didn't even notice it was him.
Like, I know that voice.
Yeah. He didn't realize how distinct his voice is either, and it's very distinct.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, when he first walked up and said hi to me a couple of years ago when I first met him, like I immediately went, "Perch?" And he's like, he told me his real name. He shook my hand. And he was like, "Hi, I'm," and I was like, "No, you're Perch."
I love the mystery behind him and Doc, man. I love it.
There's not even a mystery behind Doc. You can easily find Doc if you do a little bit of investigation.
Yeah,
like I said, Doc is on my Instagram in
exactly.
glory. But
also shows like half his face at the end of every aficionado.
Every time he's showing a comic that he's reading that week, he always has like half of it.
Yeah, he's like the neighbor on Home Improvement. What's his name?
Exactly. Yeah.
You just get a piece
peeking
of it.
over.
But Drew, tell us about this book, man.
So the issue 2, picks right up where issue 1 left off after the horrible nightmare that happens in the warehouse with the drug deal that goes bad. Shocker. And a mysterious new player named Vlad shows up and is pretty much welcoming these two strange individuals that have weird, unholy abilities. One could turn into a giant spider, another one could turn into a wolf, and he's inviting them to the team. And it's like, well, wait, what the hell's going on here? And naturally, issue 2. We've got the preview pages up, Aaron. If you want to show the campaign, get the first few pages up.
I don't know how to do that.
Oh,
I would have to. Where's Josh? Last time I gave Josh control so that he could do it.
Okay, hold on one second. Let me see if I can share.
I'll give you share screen. Yeah, I'll give you share screen
Okay.
ability. Let's see.
There we go. There we go.
If I remember how to do it, let's see.
I think on StreamYard you don't even have to do that.
Solo layout. That'll just be you. All right, show us what you got.
Oh, okay. It should be presenting. I don't know why it's not sharing the campaign.
Maybe I have to give you permission. Let's see. Oh, I could kick you from the studio. I could ban you from the studio. Let's see. Lots of options here. Solo layout, cropped layout.
Hey,
sorry, guys. As you know, Wes usually does this, and I'm filling in, but I don't know what the hell I'm doing. So let's see.
Josh said take him off solo.
Take him off solo. Okay.
I got it, guys. I'll put it up real quick.
Now I have to figure out how to take him off solo.
This is the rest.
Exit. There we go. Exit solo layout.
Can you see it down there? You just have to add it at the bottom there, Aaron. I put it up.
Oh, okay. Let's see.
Yeah, just hit add at the bottom when you hover over it.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, and there's more people in the. Looks like there's more people in the back too. Let's see. So. All right. So I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna bring. Hang on.
So, Aaron, you're not that old, bro.
No, but I've never done this. I've never hosted my own stream, so I probably should have asked for all of these things. So there we go.
There we go.
That's awesome, man.
And then you've just got to scroll and show us, or what?
Yeah. So bear with me real quick. I'll pull it up here.
Let's also go ahead and bring in Mr. Bell. How are you, sir?
Hey!
Hey!
Thanks for letting me join the party. It's an honor to be here.
Yes.
Once I figured out you were here, it was easy.
I thought you were building the suspense or something, you know?
No, I'm just incompetent.
Hey, I'm with you, man. I'm a hardcore boomer.
And you know, as long as and speaking of hardcore boomers, another bad transition. Why are all my transitions bad? We have got our artist Aurelio Mazzara.
Hey!
Hey.
Hey, how
Hey!
you doing, man?
Should I be doing
Hey.
that more? Should I be going more Italian? Should I be like Aurelio Mazzara?
That's perfect.
Like doing the you know.
Can you pull it up one more time, Aaron?
Yeah, absolutely.
See it right there? Yeah.
Bam.
There you go. All right, here we go.
There we go.
7 backers already.
Going up.
Hey.
Very nice.
Hey,
Moving on
nice.
up.
Thank you to those 7
wow.
backers. Drew, I'm sure you can view the campaign and tell us who those 7 backers are, unless they want to remain anonymous.
We can keep it a little anonymous right now.
Right on.
Should we play the?
Yeah, there's.
Why I can't think of a
we can
reason
play
not to.
trailer. Yeah.
In the dark streets of Chicago, a mysterious masked hero fights against the forces of evil. He is the Recluse and has a secret ally, a cop who goes undercover in the criminal underworld. Together, they face a deadly new threat, a drug that turns humans into monstrous creatures as they try to stop the drug trade. They discover a hidden realm of horrors that will test their courage and loyalty. Will they survive? The Unholy Nightmare. From the creators of the hit comic book series Born of Blood, Aurelio Mazzara and Dolan Waddick, comes a new action-packed adventure that will take you to the edge of your seat. Enter a world where superheroes and monsters collide and nothing is what it seems. Don't miss Unholy Nightmare 2, the comic book event of the year.
Yeah.
Nice.
Who did the trailer for you, Drew?
I believe his name is Cody. I think. You think you hooked us up with the guy?
Yeah,
Aaron?
Cody Williams, 2 a.m. King.
Yeah, he's not bad. The kid's going places.
Yeah, no, he's Cody's a great guy. He does great work. He did he cut together the Doomface trailer for me. He's done a couple of trailers now for us, and just absolutely love what he does. So shout out to him. If you guys need trailers done, make sure to message me, and I will pass his info along to you if you're doing something of your own that you need cut together. But some beautiful covers. I love that old school House of Mystery kind of obviously that my background is very much of that same kind of ilk, so I love those old creepy magazine type of covers. So that's a great one. But yeah, you've got a good cover lineup, and the interior art by Aurelio looks absolutely killer. I mean, obviously I know because I've read the whole book, so I have a little bit of an advantage over everybody. But this is.
I was gonna say, if we can, I'm trying to share my screen. I don't know why it's not letting me share the campaign.
You should be able to once you hit the present and share screen. Then Aaron will have to click on your screen on the bottom down here to bring it up.
Okay, you should see where I'm presenting the campaigns. Another screen, Aaron.
Well, while you guys are figuring that out, I wanted to say how much I love the interiors on this book. I mean, everything is really good, but the artists that you have on this are just spectacular. And it's really cool to see you guys on here. You too, JC. I'm a huge fan of your work. So
thank you. I'm a huge fan of
your
work.
Is it Aurelio?
Thank you.
Yeah, your guys' work is just incredible. The pages that you've been sharing, just man, that is some high-level work.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I got his storyboards on my wall. I love them.
Yeah, that's awesome. It must be amazing to have such a great artist to work with on these stories, man. I mean, it just gives you so much confidence, and you're able to actually see what you're writing and see it come to life. So that's awesome.
There's no greater thrill when you're writing something and the artist gets it, and they put down what you wrote, but they also improve upon it too. Aurelio has that great idea where like I'll have an idea for an action panel, then he'd be like, no, let's take out that femur and we'll make it a human spine. She's swinging a spine and hitting him with it. I'm like, perfect, let's do that. That's awesome.
It's so much more visually interesting than a femur.
Yes,
right. Yeah.
No, so we got a shout out from our good friend HH over at Sigma Comics, who does Here Comes Calico. Another one of our friends that was with us in Dallas was kind enough to let Drew and I share his table so that we could have like a base of operations and hawk our wares. He says, shout out to the TC team from Miami. Just finished day one at Otaku Fest, but want to support the one and only DW. Drew, support Unholy Nightmare on Kickstarter. So thank you for that, HH. We greatly appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. I've worked with artists before where it's just kind of like it's just a job. They're just trying to get the pages done quickly, move through it, get to their next commission. And then I've worked with artists who are like, my name is on this. I'm going to bring everything I have to the table. And they bring everything you write to the next level. It's amazing. So it's awesome.
It's a point of pride to me where like if I have a book and I want to be able to keep, because I love reading my stuff. I love being a fan of my own stuff. And if I don't like it, if it's not up to my standards, like I won't publish it. I won't do it. And and if Aurelio stuff wasn't good, I would let him know, like, hey man, you need to fix it. But he's lights out every time. And all you guys, I mean, JC, I think you guys have been killing it on the covers, and I couldn't be happier.
I'm so glad to hear I'm not the only person that reads my own stuff.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, because of the characters are also very, very awesome, really. And seeing the sequentials that Aurelio did is very inspiring for me to go and to do something for the cover. I love the way of how the story moves. It's very, very frantic. It's like, I don't know, a lot of energy in his pages. And also they are very clear. The storytelling is so great to follow. So when you sent me some of the pages as a preview, and I was like, oh my God, this is so great. This is really inspiring, to have a bit of that awesome energy into the cover. So it's been great so far. I really love this project. It's awesome.
We got Cajun Corey in the house. Says he backed cover G. Thank you, Corey. Appreciate it. Another guy who was with us in Dallas. I'll tell a little bit of a story here right before I bring in our next guest. I got a message from Brent Irwin before the show who was like, hey, I'm going to send one of my guys over to pick up, copies of the books that you guys are doing. And Brent Irwin is someone who I used to work for at Ape Entertainment. And Brent owns his own chain of comic book stores now, and he's doing his own thing. But one of the only people, he and David Hedgecock ran Ape Entertainment, and they're the only two guys they're the only publisher in this industry who hasn't screwed me over. So that really tells you something. So it was always good to hear from Brent. But I just heard from him last night, Aurelio. He goes, "Hey, I see that you guys are working with Aurelio," and I was like, "Yeah," and he was like, "I didn't know he opened Unholy Nightmare," and was pretty excited to see him. So that was cool. You got a shout out from an old boss.
That was good. This was my first gig in the USA also.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you did great work for us. So speaking of great work, that's a better transition. Let's add another one of our buddies to the stage. Someone else who was with us in Dallas, Josh McDonald.
Hey. What's up?
What's up, Josh
Great
McDonald?
Work. It was thousands of dollars of great work.
Welcome to the show, Josh.
Thank you, man. I'm excited to be here. Sorry I'm a little late. Left work a little late. But I'm here. We're here. So
your job sounds miserable.
Well, if we could keep people in their roles, then it'd be a different story. But America.
But you're always like, oh my God, I gotta work late. I gotta cover this shift. I gotta do this.
Yep. But no, I'm excited. I'm happy to see Aurelio here. It kind of takes me back to when we kicked off issue number 1, and it was a lot of fun just hearing you guys talk about that and kind of how it came together. So I don't think you've brought this up yet, but do y'all want to share kind of just even general concept, how you came about with the idea to even kickstart things with issue 1, and then just how it grew from there?
Yeah, why don't you start, Aurelio? Yeah, this pretty much it was all your brainchild.
I started was almost 10 years ago to sketching some potential idea for a new character that was the recluse. At the beginning, we called him Arachno, but luckily Dolan said me, well, you know what, the recluse could be a better name for him. And after we worked at Born of Blood, was during the end of Born of Blood issue 6. That I asked him, since I loved working on the Dolan script, I say him, you know, I have this project with lots of sketches that I would like to show you sooner or later. Not now, unfortunately, because I should find them. But there was a lot of sketch about the recluse. And I showed Dolan my ideas. And there was also 3 pages of sequential that I draw with, and the only character that basically not receive a big restyle was Vlad, actually. And I showed him, and Dolan said me, "Oh, I don't, you know, I'm really busy. Actually, I have finger my cross." And say him, "Come on, man! No. I think we could do that." I was lucky that Dolan accepted to work with me. But everything beginning from sketches. Sketches, yeah. There was this character from the Pulp Fiction era that was the Spider, and then Brereton. I don't know if you know him. Make a great miniseries about him, and I started looking at the character and said I would like to try to make something similar. And of course, there's some reference to Spider-Man 2, for example. Of course, I'm trying to mix everything and starting draw, but and then Dolan accepted to join me.
Yeah, I've got to. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead, Josh. I was going to read Aile's comment where she said, "What would you say the rating for these comics would be, Drew? PG-13, R, NC-17?"
Between PG-13 and R. I mean, the language is kind of harsh. I mean, you read issue 1, yeah, it's a full blown. Its body's blowing up all over the place, being ripped apart. So it's closer to an R, I'd say.
Yeah, I'd say it's definitely an R.
Yeah, I would too. It's a violent book, but it's one of those that, you know, Aurelio's art style has such that 90s Saturday morning cartoon vibe to it, which really just kind of, it's one of the things I love because it gives it this nostalgic kind of throwback, but also feels fresh compared to what we're seeing in today's comics. That even though it's violent, you're not like, oh God, all the gore. You know, it's just like, oh dang, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's over the top. I want it to be like if you're watching Total Recall with Arnold Schwarzenegger, you know, the good one, and you got all the squibs, the body parts blown up all over the place. I'm like, yeah, you're going to be laughing and enjoying it because it's crazy and over the top. And that's the same thing with the action.
I'd say Corey says it's a hard R. I'd say it's just R because it's not like we have like a hard R for sex. It's just violence and some language.
Yeah,
but you know, comic book. It's funny because a comic book level of violence. Somehow, like when you do a comic level of violence, it's fine. This is for everybody, like 13, you know, like it's fine. It's PG-13 in a comic book. But when you try to translate that to a movie, you know, you try to do Wolverine or Deadpool, cutting people's limbs off and things like that, all of a sudden it's an R in cinema. So I'd say that, you know, it's probably the language that pushes it over. The violence, I think, is PG-13. But, you know, you do get more than, if you get more than one F-bomb per issue, then it's R.
I say if we're going to bring back up the campaign, we could show it. Like we could see like the first couple pages. We could see some of the dialogue, for example.
Yeah, well, we have another guest here, so let me go ahead and bring them in first. We have got TriStar coming in to join us.
Hey!
Hello, thanks for having me.
What's up, man?
Good to see you, man.
Yeah, Dole said I would let you know, but I just decided to jump in instead.
Appreciate it. It's awesome.
Yeah, of course. How's the stream going so far?
I mean, except for my level of absolute
going around.
incompetence, it's going pretty good.
That just adds to it. It gives it.
I'm gonna put the campaign back up here.
Hey,
There we go, Drew.
Yeah, there it is.
Still
Congratulations, by the way.
Nice.
Thank
It
Thanks.
doubled from the last time. 14 now.
Yeah.
Yep, it's awesome. See, hey, that cover looks familiar. Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's
He's
the launch,
pointing at
72-hour launch special right there. Yeah.
So who did that one?
Yeah, explain to me
Get
who
the-
did some of these covers.
Yeah, Yeah, we got JC
tasty, right?
Grande here. He did the
Yeah.
Stephen Platt homage here, which blew everyone's minds. I know at some point we're gonna do the black and white edition of it. We're going to because it's just that good. So in this
JC,
one,
Hold on 1 second, Drew. JC, how bad were you cussing Drew when you were drawing all of those tiny little bullets and bullet fragments, those shells?
I just love that Stephen Platt cover since I saw it when I was a teenager, maybe, and I was staring at it so much that I don't know. I just felt really, really glad when I got to do that version, this new version. So it felt great. It felt great, even though we had at the beginning we had less bullet. How do you call that? Cases
Bullet
or-
shells? Yeah.
bullet casings. Yeah.
Yeah, but then we added much more. So yeah.
Did he
was
did he
great.
demand more? Did he come in and he's like,
Oh yeah, he
JC,
did.
and that's the point
But
that you were like,
it improved the image. Yes.
That might be my fault. That might be my fault as well, because when he showed us, I think I was like, needs more bullets.
Yeah, we
Do
need
you
more.
guys remember in Wizard they had a contest for the original? It was like you had to count all the shells. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I do remember that. Oh my god,
Ridiculous.
that's a lost memory. But yeah, I do remember.
well, JC, I will say I think it's a fantastic cover you've got there, man. And I know
Amazing.
when it was first, honestly, even when the pencils were done, Drew shared it with a few of us, and we were like, "Oh, holy shit!" And I want to say this wasn't too long after Dallas last year, but maybe my mind's
This was at MegaCon. I think it was at MegaCon this year. I was sharing this cover. Back
okay.
in
Yeah.
back in February. Yeah.
So, yeah, time's a blur, but I know we were all pretty stoked to see this, and then just the different stages of it, and then final colors and finish. It's freaking fantastic. So kudos, man.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm very glad you
Then-
like it, guys.
Yeah, loved it. And it's the same with Isaac's cover here. You know, he nailed it here, just making her sexy and creepy at the same time with her wolf hand. Love it. So yeah, we're doing a special spot foil variant for both these covers. And this one that Isaac did, yeah, it's got to be a foil variant. Has to.
Who doesn't love a nice midriff tank top that's extremely tight?
Yeah.
I know someone who does. I wonder, can I add him to the stage? Let's see.
Hey!
Well, look at that.
Jim.
We have got Jim from
I
Weird
love
Science.
midriff. I didn't think that anybody saw me hanging backstage. Here I am.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to keep an eye on it. I'm trying to be a professional here.
Good. Thank you for adding me. But right on time for midriff. That is perfect.
That's right. Thank you for coming over and joining us.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm here to have some fun.
I call that
Excellent.
cover the I'm cold cover.
the cold of the night. Jim, you were missed in Dallas. We had a lot of people ask about you. Mostly, they would ask if you weren't there because you were injured.
They were looking for somebody in a full body cast.
Yeah, they were like they thought we'd be pushing around somebody.
And it was you. It was you.
Turns out it
Aaron.
was
They're
me.
like,
Yeah,
oh
no,
my
I just
god,
had-
it was you. Oh,
I did have the
okay.
big boot on, and that was a lot of fun.
That's
But people were coming up and going, "Oh my god, what?" Like I didn't realize you had like the whole boot and everything.
The big beautiful
yes.
boot. You call
Yes,
it.
absolutely.
Ah, yes, yeah. So yeah, I wish I could have went there. That would have been cool. I saw
would've been
Dylan. He
cool.
was rocking the gun show in that one picture. I saw him just rocking the gun.
Oh, I know. Like
moly.
Dylan rolls up in his tank top, and it's like, oh, Texas, it's an open carry state, so we brought out the gun.
Exactly. Holy moly.
Back in Smith and Wesson. Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh, it's great.
No, it was a blast though, Jim. You would have loved it. We all had
A lot
such a
of
good
fun.
time. It was so great hanging out, and it was really kind of like when I was getting on the plane to go home, I was like, I'm really sad inside.
Yeah. Yeah,
This is
maybe
terrible.
the next kind of thing that we kind of have. It's tough though to get everybody together, including Wes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, that was the big one was Wes. I think we're skipping next year because Perch told us that they're doing a bunch of construction on the convention center, and they're going to push a lot of the show like out into the parking garage under the sails.
Really?
Yeah, in Texas,
Yes.
and it's like 3
Oh,
weeks
yeah.
later in the year. It's like, no, I'm not doing that. I will not do that.
You act like it gets hot here.
I was just gonna say, I
come
knew
on.
Josh was gonna talk trash. Like, oh, really? You wimps? Like, what are you talking about?
No. When I heard, I was the first one that was like,
You were the one.
that. Like, that's a no. I try to go from air conditioning to air conditioning as fast as possible.
Yes.
Yeah, that was
Or a pool.
that was it was like, and that was what we did. We basically went from the house just into the car to the convention center, pulled right up, got valet, got out, and it walked to the hotel. That was the
And
most
still
we
we're
tried to
sweating.
be outside. Yeah, it was still, I mean, it wasn't too bad. It was
No, this year was a little cooler than last year and years past. The only
I
thing that
missed
made
it
me
this year. I usually go.
it was a great year. I was just sad that like day one of the convention, I like walked in, and the moment I walked in, like 5 minutes into being in the convention center, I'm like, and I'm like, son of a bitch! How in the hell did this con crud already hit me?
Man.
So I was trying to like keep some distance from people just to be safe. Like I didn't want to ruin their weekends.
You did a good job. I mean, I didn't get
tried.
it. And we were in the same house, like in the
I
same
know.
car. Like I was sitting right next to you every time we were driving because Max and Drew would take the back seat because I had to get in with a giant like Greg Capullo spawn boot on my foot. Absolutely sucked.
Sounds like a
But
good
yeah,
time.
people were looking for you, Jim. People were asking about you.
Yeah. Well,
It's
that's
funny.
nice.
Like we had like 3 people come up and just tell us Gabe was sus. They're like, "Where's sus
That's what
Gabe?
you
Is he
need.
here?" Yeah, that
Sus
guy's
Gabe,
sus.
yeah. He is definitely sus. He's gotten to the point now where he pretends that upsets him. You should hear him. He's like, I don't know that I like it. I'm like, you love it, and stop it. Stop.
It's your gimmick, man. It's your sus Gabe.
Everybody needs something. That's what he has. He's sus. So
Yeah,
there
you're
you go.
like I'm always injured. You're
Yeah,
sus.
exactly. Yep. Yeah.
Doc's
yeah.
a curmudgeon. Everybody's got their part to play.
Everybody's got it. So we're good.
So Isaac, tell us a little
Yes,
bit
sir.
about your process on that cover.
Well, first I did a bunch of thumbnails. I too like to draw, like crazy monsters with sexy ladies. But I was working with Dylan on it, and he was like, we need a sexy lady cover. So that was the direction we went. So I kept sending him thumbnails until he picked out what he liked. And I just went from there. I'm just a line artist. So I did the pencils and inks, and then Dan Kemp finished it up. And that's I tend to I love to draw all kinds of stuff, and I really love drawing the sexy ladies too. But I do tend to, when people hire me to do a cover, that is usually what they hire me for. So, which nothing wrong with that. I love doing it.
Yeah.
So,
Do you ever want to branch out? You ever go like, I'll draw you a sexy lady, but can I also draw a monster in there or something? Like,
yeah, well, I also have my own comics that I get to get all of that out into. So then, like the work for hire stuff, I'm just like, hey, I'll do what you need. I'm here for you. So, but I am a little jealous that JC got to do the crazy Stephen Platt cover. But I know I'm gonna keep working with you guys. It's a great team, and so who knows what the future may hold. So.
Yeah, no, it's really great. Just like Dylan, like the explosion that we've had in the independent scene. There's so many people doing so many comics that I'm interested in that I can't follow them all. Like it seems like I'm always finding a new one on Twitter. Do you find that that's kind of like where you're at as well?
Yes, there's tons of them everywhere, which is what's nice about this is it's already finished, so you don't got to worry about, because that's the big worry, at least for me, whenever you see like all these 8 billion comics coming out, and then you look and it's like, oh, we've got 3 pages done, guys. Don't worry, you'll get it in the next 8 years sometime, maybe. So it's nice to know that it's all done. And...
It's a little triggering for me, but
are you saying I'm not gonna have to wait 3 years to get this book?
No, like we said, it's finished. It's done. It's in the can. Like as soon as the campaign ends, we'll have our print numbers and we can get it ordered and get it out to people like pretty damn quick. That's kind of the nice thing is like Drew's been able to kind of hit that level. I haven't been able to hit it yet, but that's also the goal with Kneel Before Doomface. I want to be able to get to the point where we finish a book before we offer it, so that it's coming out to you like a month and a half after we close. And the only thing you're waiting on is the print time and then it getting packaged up. That's the goal. And I think that the opposite of that, like people waiting years at a time for books, has really hurt crowdfunding because some people never get their books, or they by the time it comes out they don't care anymore. They've forgotten what the previous book was about if there was one. So I think that it's the goal of everybody, but everybody that really wants to do this and keep a consistent thing going. But it's just not like Isaac was saying, like he's like, I'm triggered, because you do have to do that sometimes. Like we had to do it with Doomface, you have to do it with your projects. But the more people that support, the more you can roll money over into the next project, right?
Exactly. Correct. And that's the trend that you see in crowdfunding is, the creators that are consistently putting their books out, you just see their campaigns grow, and it doesn't have to be every month or anything like that. It just has to be when you say you're going to deliver the book,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Our Fit hits the Shan date is October 2025. So just in case the world runs out of paper, there's tariffs on printing and paper and staples. Yeah, October 2025. That's our shipping deadline date. But it should be up before then.
Yeah, I think that's really the goal. Like you've seen the success of iconic comics, Common America. You've seen Tim Lim and Mark Pellegrini. Like their campaigns are just doing insanely well. They've got books over in Japan, and all they did was trust the plan, stay the course. Consistently deliver books to their customers, and have great customer service while they were doing it. So it can be done. Direct to consumer is so. Such a great way to do this, but you have to actually respect your customer, respect their time, respect their investment.
Yeah.
I'm going to brag on Drew for a second too, because I think, even Aurelio, but I think sometimes something that we take for granted when we do like crowdfunding or have direct to consumer is, the comics industry is a very small industry, and trying to break in is really difficult. And a lot of times when you're trying to break in, they're wanting to see that you've already done something. But if you haven't done something, how are you supposed to show something you've done if you can't break? So it's this kind of sick cycle unless you know someone who knows someone that can get your foot in the door. So what this lets people do is people that have, read and studied comics for years, people like Aurelio who actually teaches the art of comics, it gives them a chance to say, like, let me put something out that I'm passionate about, that I love, and put it out there so people can decide. Let the market decide. Do you want to read this? Do you not? And I think that's kind of something that we need to keep in mind. I think sometimes we can forget how special that is because we're starting to see so many people do crowdfunded books for various reasons. But I was going to praise Drew because we're talking about how many scripts he's done. And he gets so excited and he puts so much of himself into these comics when he sits down to start working on them. And he works real fast. But I will never forget Dallas last year. Someone approached him to work on a different title. And he had a meeting at like 7 p.m. one night. And then he spent like an hour jotting down ideas. And then we went back to the house and he's like, hey, what do you think about these ideas? And I'm like, oh, yeah, they're cool. Keep working on it. I'm going to take a shower real quick. Like, go take a shower, come back out. He's like, all right, I've got a rough draft for like 12 pages. Do you want to read them? I'm like, what do you, how do you do this, dude?
I can't even type that fast. Like he'll have
he's got
he'll have the panel breakdowns. Yeah, he'll have the panel breakdowns, and I'm like, that takes me forever.
Drew, do you have your little black book near you?
Actually, give me 1 second. I got it nearby. Give me 1 second. Yep.
While he's doing that, I will.
So
I'll pop up.
we always joke about that Drew's working on so much that you never.
Hey, let's share the campaign. We gotta show Tristan's. We gotta show Tristan's cover. We gotta show his
Wait a
sexy.
minute. We have a super chat. I have to read the super chat. Master Swag King coming in with top 3 sex positions. Aaron, you degenerate. I don't know. Let's just go classic. I'm gonna say missionary, missionary, doggy style, and cowgirl. There you go.
Do the Jonah Hill jump street. I'm talking missionary. I'm talking missionary. I'm talking missionary.
You know what I found out, apropos of nothing, is apparently humans are the only mammals that make love with eye contact.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Jim, explain that to Dylan.
Actually, at one point I heard that dolphins might as well, but that might just be a dream I had. I'm not sure. But,
well, I mean, I know it'll be a song that you write.
well, you going through the positions, I was going to say each one of those 10 songs at least. So I'm good there.
All right, so let's put the campaign back up. Let me find that window.
Aaron, before we jump into the campaign real quick, Tommy is having to bounce real quick, so I don't know if we want to let him say some final words before he heads out.
Say some final words, Tommy.
No, just want to say congratulations. Very excited to get my issue 2. It looks fabulous. Everyone that worked on it, great work. Cannot wait to get it. Everybody get over there and back it. I've shared the links all over my channels too, but congratulations, man. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Tommy. I appreciate it.
Man. We appreciate it. And good hanging out in Dallas.
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate you. Talk soon.
Talk soon, man. Thanks.
You bet.
All right. So let's go ahead and put the book back
Here's that
up.
little black notebook. Yeah. But so Tristan, your cover. I believe your cover was the very first one that I had commissioned for issue 2.
I believe you had me do it. I
And
thought
that is
when
going
you
back,
hadn't even launched
I think,
issue
well
1
over a
yet,
year.
right? I didn't think you had launched issue 1 yet.
Probably, yeah.
Or maybe you would like just put issue 1 together, because I remember you showed me. I think it was one of the interior pages. It was the cover of your first Kickstarter. Who was the artist on that?
The
interior artist?
Yeah, the cover. It was the cover image for the first campaign.
Oh, probably. It was probably Andrew Mangum's.
Could have been. But that was the image you showed me that I kind of like went off of, because you had maybe like 3 images or so for reference before I could start on this one.
Yeah.
A lot of it was just descriptions of Jenny, the character, and what she did, and I just kind of like went with it.
It's a great cover, man. I love the shredded.
I love it. It's sexy.
The shredded version. I tried.
Yeah, it's kind of like it was a
Couldn't pull it
challenge to make it sexy but still fierce at the same time, which I love a challenge. I'm always down for a challenge, but it was something that I had a lot of fun with it.
It looks great.
And yeah, what was I forget when I did that. Is there a date? I always date my covers. I'm wondering if there's is it a 23 or 24 that I put on it? 24, I think.
It has been 2024. Yeah.
So that would have been probably maybe January or so, 2024. I think I did that.
Yeah.
Because I remember, I think it was like, around one of my first projects of that year that I did. And I remember I was like, when is this thing going to come out? Because I did it so long ago. And then I don't even know if I could include it on like my 2024 wrap up that I do like on Instagram or anything. Because I'm like, I don't want to jump the gun because I don't know if this cover's even been shown yet.
Well, better late than never. Here we are.
Yeah, exactly. So here it is. Yeah.
No, I love it. It's one of those covers that, like, if you just saw it like on somebody's table, you'd be like, "What's this book about?" Which is what a cover is supposed to do.
That's awesome. Yeah, that I always have that in mind. Like, what's gonna sell the book from standing, 10, 15 feet away. You want to see it and then see, like, okay, I'm interested already. What is this?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it's really great. I love it. And yeah, it was a long time ago that I saw it. So I mean, it's not unusual. Just speaking of covers that are like way out there, Aurelio's done a cover for me for Kneel Before Doomface #3 already. That that I have to have colored. So it's like we haven't shown it off yet, and it's gorgeous. I love it. So we're definitely committed to the long haul.
I don't know if anyone that my inspiration for this cover, I don't know if anyone's an Iron Maiden fan, but there's a single art for the song Reincarnation of Benjamin Brieg, and I loved like Iron Maiden's art. But anyway, if you're familiar with that cover, or if you have a chance, you can look it up. I liked the motion of the character on there, and the moon kind of frames the character's head and everything, but I liked like the dead trees coming up and kind of framing the character and then being backlit as well. But that was I remember it was one of my inspirations for that cover because it was very very Halloween style, like horror inspiration. So I always kind of make a playlist of what I listen to when I do a cover. And I remember that instance is what inspired this cover.
Drew, do you have a playlist when you're writing, or do you have a playlist in your head when you're planning out a scene and you're thinking of like, if this were animated or this were a movie, what would this be like?
Honestly, I got Lemmy in my head, man. I got Motorhead, Lemmy. That's my soundtrack for Unholy Nightmare. It is speed metal, and I love it.
So I think we were kind of on the same page then when we were both doing our craft.
Into metal too. Yeah, all the way.
Well, let's pan down and see another cover.
Yeah, so we got to show off Aurelio's cover. We'll get back to that one. Yeah, here we go. It was Aurelio's Love and Rockets homage. Right here.
I love this one so much.
And
awesome.
Yeah.
This one is
the lineup of
absolutely fantastic, and the lineup looks great. Like even if you didn't know that was a Love and Rockets homage, you would look at that cover and again, as another cover that draws you in, makes you go, "What's this about?" Like I want to check this out. It kind of makes it a shame that we're not in stores, but someday when we have enough books in the can, we could put these out. We could put these out in collections and things like that, and get them out to retailers so that they could. But I'm sure that if retailers want to carry them, they can contact you and work something out. Correct?
Absolutely. Yeah. If we talked about, we didn't put it up here, but we had talked about doing like a retailer bundle, like, I don't know, $200. You can pick whatever covers you wanted and like so many number of comics, and yeah, you're set. But I would love for stores to carry this stuff, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Yes.
I will say one of the great things with this cover too is it kind of teases all the new characters you get to meet in this second issue. So for people that picked up the first issue and liked it, but were like, okay, where are we going to go from here? Like this cover teases some of that. So you got 3 characters here that you meet in the first issue and 3 that are brand new. And are all freaking awesome.
Nice. I'm excited to finally read this thing. I read the first issue a couple months back, so I'm ready.
Oh, I'll send you a link to the second issue because it's done right.
Yes,
I'll send
please,
you to
man.
read it. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Now, Drew, when people jump in on this, are they going to be able to, if they missed issue #1, there's a bundle that has #1 as well?
Bullseye. Yes, we have add-ons. So yeah, right here you can get the back stock of Unholy Nightmare #1 right there. All the different covers we got. You got the Marat Michaels, got the Joe Ball, got a bunch of the other Aurelio covers, Jen Leonard, Andrew Mangum. Another one of Aurelio's friends did a beautiful Trinacria cover. Yeah, so you can absolutely get those. And you can get the MegaCon and New York Comic Con exclusives that we got left over from full issue #1 and preview to #2 that Voodon did. And we're going to get to Voodon here in a little bit when we talk about add-ons.
Mm-hmm.
And we got the mystery pack. So you can, since we're going through the Comic Mint, you can get a mystery pack bundle of random Comic Mint exclusives. And when you do that, you'll get the JC Grande Splat homage red metal cover.
Did we establish that it was JC Grand? Are you making it? Are you making it more grande?
I'm saying grande because it just sounds more cool.
Yeah, it is grande actually.
Is it okay?
grande.
Yeah, there we
It
go.
is grande.
Perfect.
That sounds good.
So I've been pronouncing it in my head when I see you on Facebook. So
That's how I was too. But then I was like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just being too fancy.
you got to say it with your pinky out.
Edward Hawa says, "When will add-on be available? I don't see them."
The add-on should be there.
I mean, you were showing them on the screen there, so they should be available, right?
Yeah,
So
Russ.
what-
Russ, who did the campaign, finished it up. They should be on there to add the stuff. So
So you have to pledge. You have to pledge first to get an add-on. Is that correct?
I believe so. Yeah, that's correct.
That might be the issue.
Yeah, Edward. Yeah, you have to.
So when you
yeah,
pick
you
your
have to-
cover, you pick your tier, then it'll
Yep.
let you do the add-ons.
Yep, pick your tier, then you can just kind of fill up your cart after that. And we're doing the JC Grande with the print and card. You can get an 11 by 17 of that. Yeah. And this bad boy right here. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that when I was scrolling through. I was really impressed by that. I love that one.
Crazy.
Vu Dawn. Let me tell you about this guy. So Vu worked in video games before a year ago. Then he just quit. He was done, and he wanted to get into comic books. And he liked Aurelia. He liked Aurelia's artwork, and he loved the Recluse. So he did just a quick sketch of the Recluse in monster form. I'm like, dude, what is this? He's like, yeah, it's fan art. I like your stuff. I'm like, what? I want this as a cover. I'll pay you for this. He's like, oh no, I'll draw it again. I'll do it better. Like, okay, fine. And made that a MegaCon exclusive. And before I knew it, he was sending me some his art book, and I'm like, dude, I'm gonna have you do a 10-pager for me of the Golem. So on top of Unholy Nightmare 2, one of the add-ons we're going to have is the origin story of the Golem, who is one of our characters on the team. And what's unique about him is that he can't speak; his mouth is covered, so he just does just different things. But some of the characters can understand him. I'm not going to say who, but in this story, it's told in a very much an EC comic style, where you have your opening narrator, and they're telling pretty much the tragic backstory of how the character became the Golem, and the action on this cover for it does take place. This take place in the book. So this is all done by hand by Vu Dawn. He did this all just pen and ink, just cross-hatched the hell out of it, and it still to this day blows my mind that he did this. Just did a 10-page.
Stunning, man. Stunning.
It's honestly, Drew, it's a beautiful story with beautiful artwork. And I think sometimes you wonder how much story can you fit into 10 pages, and you squeezed a lot of just good storytelling in 10 pages. And then the way Vu brought it to life is fantastic. I've been wanting to talk about this for so long, and this is one of the things that has been paining me to just stay quiet. I'm so happy that it's finally here. I want people to get their hands on it because you deserve it. Vu deserves it. It's a great tack on to add to the second issue.
So I've got a file of the very first page because I don't want to spoil the thing. So none of the dialogue is on the page, but just so people get a taste of what it is. So Aaron, I'm going to text you the image. So hopefully you'll be able to share it. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either.
Okay.
It's an adventure.
Yeah.
That's right.
But yeah, it's a very tragic story, and it's taken from an anecdote that I heard from lead singer of Van Halen.
David Lee Roth.
Yeah, David Lee Roth. Yeah, he was on Joe Rogan's podcast, and he was talking about how his vocal coach was a Auschwitz survivor, and he would frequently perform as a singer before the higher ranking officers on the base, and he had to sing to perfection every time because he knew if he didn't, he was dead. He would die. And he would always hold David Lee Roth to a high standard when he was his vocal coach. It was like, because of that. So when I heard that story, I'm like, okay, but what if you held that high standard, but what if you did mess up? What would happen that one time you messed up? You're perfect every time before. What would be the cost of that? So we get to see what happens when one musician is not perfect, and which leads to the birth of the golem.
How do you want me to share this, Drew? You texted it to my phone.
Can you? I'm not sure if you're able to share it.
Drew, text it to me real quick, and I can get it pulled up.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, send it to Josh.
I'll send it to Josh.
But yeah, this I mean, every cover is just fantastic. Like everybody's bringing their A game. It's what I love. It's what I love about the indies now. I have so many. I know so many artists that work for the big two, and that have like contacted me, and they're like, "Hey, is indies viable yet? Because if I have to draw one more scene where people are sitting around in a coffee shop, I'm gonna hang myself." That's all that the writers at Marvel give them anymore. They get like maybe one page of action, and then everything else is talking heads. And they are so absolutely bored by what they're being asked to do on these books. And I feel bad. I wish that there was a viable alternative for them to jump to so that they could draw things that they were actually interested in. I'm sorry. I know that comics are good. I know that comics are good now. And that by even suggesting that maybe there's bad comics out there, that I'm a birthday party clown. But the fact of the matter is the majority of comics are not good right now. Not in the mainstream.
I'm so out of the loop. It's been so long since I've paid attention to mainstream comics. I have no idea what's going on even. So that's probably a good testament that you're probably speaking some truth right there, man.
Yeah, I mean, nothing has come out that's drawn you back in, has there?
Yeah, I don't even pay attention. And when something looks kind of appealing, I'm just like, yeah, it's probably a trick.
Well, I mean, ask Jim. Jim has to read these books every week and review them.
Yeah, they're not great. And I was just thinking, even with the artists here, like I'm sure all of you started to want to be a comic book creator because you wanted to draw people eating, soup and sitting and shaking their head yes to inane conversation after 7 pages. Like that's the greatest, right?
I'm glad you added that 7 pages, Jim. That's what I was going to say. Not just eating soup. It's eating soup for 7 pages out of a 20-page comic.
Yeah, and then you get to the action. They eat a sandwich.
I am very proud to say in the first 6 issues of Unholy Nightmare, I think the only time you're going to see someone eating is when a monster is eating someone else, and that's going to be an issue 5.
Even in the first 2 issues of Doomface, we have a scene we have one scene that's in a coffee shop. But that's when I described that scene to Josh, that's the scene that hooked him.
Yeah. Aaron, if you check, you should have the image loaded, so you can pull it up if you want.
Where is it in the private chat?
No, it's in the where we are to present.
Oh, okay, cool. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, that's the first page.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at the mood.
Man, that hatching.
Yeah, he's off. He's insane.
Yeah.
And I was either talking to Aaron or I was talking to Josh about his cross hatching. It is really reminding me of Eddie Campbell from Hell. And I'm not saying he's Eddie Campbell level, but it's just that level of detail with the cross hatching. It's insane.
Well, it's funny when you first showed me Isaac's sketch for his cover.
Mm-hmm.
I think I remember asking you. I was like, "Did you get David Finch?"
Hey,
that's how good it was. I was like, how did you get David Finch? And he was like, no, this is Isaac Bell. And I was like, oh my god, the guy's amazing.
Well, thanks, man. Yeah, this is it's like classic. It has a like traditional illustration feel to it. It's so cool. I remember just like seeing books in the library as a kid I'd flip through them and find the illustrations, and it would be stuff kind of like this, Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
or even you'd read novels and they'd have the pages in there that were illustrated, and they would be like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the classic illustrated novels. Yeah, I love those. And writing this was a bitch. I'm not gonna lie, because I challenged myself to this, because those EC comic stories, most of those were 8 pages. And keeping it down to just 10 was difficult, and keeping it in that same vein was difficult. So doing this was a challenge to myself, and I think Vu really nailed it with the art.
Yeah, I would say so.
People in the chat are asking for the link to the Kickstarter. I am putting that back in right now. So there you go. I'll make sure that we keep putting that in as we go here. This page is beautiful, and you know what I love is like it's such a juxtaposition because you've got this, and then you've got Aurelio's art, which is I finally figured out what Aurelio's art reminds me of, because it's been bugging me for the longest time. Ever since Born of Blood, I'm like, his art reminds me of somebody, and somebody great, and I couldn't place it. And this last issue of Unholy Nightmare, when I was looking at it, I was like, oh, you know what this evokes to me? This evokes like Norm Brayfogle on Batman. Yes. And it was because of the car chase scene. That's where I clued in. I was like, this reminds me of Brayfogle drawing the Batmobile. And then I realized that's like the kind of energy that Aurelio is bringing to the book. So let's show off some more of Aurelio's pages too. Like let's see some more of the interior.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah. So we could show off if you want to click on my I should have a link down at the bottom, Aaron, for the one of the present.
Okay, let me remove this one here, and we will go back to
there. There we go. Yeah, so this is the very first page. This is how we're opening up the book, and if anyone loves 80s cinema as much as I do, they should hopefully recognize the 1970 Dodge sedan with should have Illinois plates. But that's the Bluesmobile on it right there, going over the bridge, with our lead detective, Lieutenant Magnum, heading in with his rookie about the drug bust that went down, and they're going in guns blazing,
just yelling at each other.
Yeah, love it.
But yeah, they come upon a scene that is just absolutely insane.
There's so much emotion, and so much energy, and it just like that first page is just, it's crazy. I mean, it's crazy to have all between Aurelio and Vu Don, and it's crazy to have this level of art on your indie book, man. I mean, that must be a good feeling.
It's a great feeling, working it. I think Aaron knows. Aaron and Josh know. I've said this many times. I am so incredibly blessed to be working with the artists that I do. I mean, all of you guys on here, working with you guys, as well as working with Aurelio, working with all the artists with Murat Michaels, like Andre Lunatic and Shelby Robertson and Dan Kemp. It's like, this is a dream come true. I wanted to do this since I was in first grade, and I'm having a blast. And
there's such a different feeling in getting to do your own book. Because it's like we've done, we've obviously written for publishers, both of us, and I've had some really good times on some books. I had 2 runs at Darkwing Duck that I really enjoyed. It's it's a shame that we never got to finish it. It's a shame that Dynamite wants to just put covers on a bunch of substandard books, but as much of a blast as I had doing that, doing your own thing is just such a different world. It's such a different feeling. You don't have to run it by anybody else. You don't have to get notes back that nerf your story, and no one can pull the rug out from under you. The only people that could stop it from happening is if people decide to stop supporting it. And that's why, you guys coming in on these projects, that's why we're so grateful to you, is because you really do make dreams happen. And if somebody tells you, I didn't ask for your support, I'm not a UNICEF kid, it's a book, you buy it, that's the wrong attitude. You are supporting us. You're supporting our ability to be able to do these books. And we will never, ever take that for granted.
No, never.
Absolutely. Well said, man.
I'm going to add real quick, too, since we're looking at Aurelio's art, that there is a certain energy to the way Drew writes and the art style that Aurelio has. But when we were in Dallas this year, Drew and I went to go eat at a Mexican restaurant. And right before we went to go eat, we stopped in a comic shop. And we found some back issues of Born of Blood that Drew was like, I'm out of my comps. I'm going to pick these up so I can, sell them. So we picked them up, and then we took them into the restaurant with us. And we were kind of flipping through, and we got to Aurelio. I think you came on it. Is it issue 5, I believe?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So we're kind of flipping through. Yeah, and we get to issue 5, and then it's just, and this is not a disrespect to the prior artist, but there was just something that clicked so well with you guys on that book, and I think that's part of why you wanted to come here. And Drew was like, man, I love Born of Blood, but for me, when it really came together is when Aurelio got on, and that's just what he's sitting there telling me as we're waiting for our food and we're flipping through and we're just looking at pages and pulling stuff up. And then it kind of led to like, we're so excited to get this launched for issue 2. So I think the way that you can build these relationships, work together, that's a great thing. And Drew, especially now that you're working with comics and even like the fellow artists on the panel, you don't always have great relationships with the people you work with. That can actually be pretty rare, that you work
Very
well
rare.
together, you blend together, you kind of enjoy your time together. So, story aspect, what you're delivering on a technical level is great, but also just the relationship there is great. And I think the fun that you two have together kind of spills out on the page. So huge fan of that.
Yeah, it was great when issue 4 of Born of Blood was done, and then we found out that the artist was having some personal problems. I think that was having some health problems and wasn't going to be able to finish the book. And it was just kind of like, oh no, what do we do? Because you never want to, like, especially when you're doing like a limited series, you want to keep a consistent artist all the way through. You really hate having to switch it up. But I told Drew, I said, don't worry, I got a guy. And and I showed him Aurelio's art, and he was just like, oh yes, this is great. And then we just had to get it get it approved. And Murphy loved it, and we were off to the races with 5 and 6. And yeah, it really, not only did it come together art wise, but that's like really where the story all came together. All the things that Drew had been seeding, Aurelio couldn't have come on better scripts for the book than 5 and 6. So it worked out beautifully. And the book ended up being really acclaimed, and it's a shame that it didn't continue, but publishers are oafs, and they if any comic book publisher succeeds, it seems like it's in spite of the people that run them. So it's great to see you guys working on something original where no one can take it away from you, no one can pull the rug out from under you, and no one can take credit for your work.
Yeah.
And that type of creative relationship is very rare. I've worked with so many different artists, and it's so hard to find someone that you really click with and you're both just excited and invested in the material. So yeah, that's really cool.
I remember especially we was on a specific pages on issue 6 of Born of Blood, and they texted Donald to say him, oh, you know that movie, it's Society, and Donald replied me, scene. You talk about that scene. That's
yes.
So we have this. You remember?
That's one reason why I knew Aurelio's my guy, because as soon as he referenced the movie Society, I'm like, yes, because I love horror movies. I love body horror films. And if you've ever seen a Society, you'll never forget those final 10 minutes of the film. It's good. Stuck in the back of your brain until the day you die.
Looks like the campaign is over $1,000 right now. 28 backers. We are 1/5 of the way to the goal. So that is awesome.
Hell yeah!
Outstanding. So, little fun fact about this page: these parrots actually exist. These are real life parrots. They're called Dracula parrots. You type it up, do a Google search. Dracula parrots are real, and they are probably one of the coolest looking birds I've ever seen in my life. And I think, Aurelio, was that your idea or my idea? Was that yours?
No, it was your idea, because we talked about the at the beginning. I don't know if we make spoil if you want to use it, but by the way, we talked about give him a giant dog. Because I talked to you about the movie Zoltan, Dracula's dog is a Zeta movies, and the protagonist was the Dracula's dog, and then one showed me the parrot. I said, no, the parrot, absolutely, especially because I think was never used something like that. right?
No, never. It's there. They're real. It's like how has no one ever used a Dracula parrot, for Dracula? So it's like, yeah, we'll call him Rennie. So Rennie.
I can't believe you referenced the movie Dracula's dog. Speaking of things that actually exist, we have got MVP in the house. What's up, Max?
Hi. How's it going, guys? Drew, congratulations on launching a wonderful campaign, and I'm excited to hang out with some incredibly talented artists and creators tonight. So it should be fun to just kind of hang out and get this bad boy launched. So.
Who let this loser in? Who invited this guy?
I invited.
What are we doing here?
Come on!
I found my way in. I was able to grab a link.
That's right. You fought your way into the stream.
Yes. Yeah. So
like a Marine. Damn it.
Yes. Marines find a way. But yeah, no, it's weird to talk to you guys through a screen after hanging with y'all for like 4 days straight.
I know, right? Like, oh man, we had the great party house. It was fantastic. Josh,
man, you guys were
Josh
all
set it all up.
You guys were all at Fan Expo, huh?
Yep.
It's like the 1 year I didn't go. I could have met you in person.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah,
Damn it, Isaac.
Wes was going to be in the States and he was going to be in Dallas. So I think that's what pulled a lot of us together, was to get the chance to meet him. But I would say the four of us try to frequent Dallas when possible. But yeah, we got our little Airbnb, had a good time, cooked some food, read some comics.
Yeah, Josh made breakfast every morning, and it was it was funny because we were saying like if Sully had stayed with us, Sully stayed in a hotel, but if Sully had stayed with us, it would have been the cook-off every morning and every night, Josh versus Sully. So like Max and Drew and I would have been set, but we were set with Josh making breakfast every morning, and it really got me through the day.
Drew, I don't know if we want to pull the campaign back up. Do we want to share who some of these new characters are? I mean, I know some of them have been introduced, but do we want to give a quick highlight of, maybe some of the new faces people are going to see when they read issue 2?
Yeah. Angela was kind enough to. AL was kind enough to send money for cupcakes, which Sully picked up, and there were enough cupcakes to go around. Even once Wes's kids got there, there were enough cupcakes. So you hooked us up really well.
Yes, thank you, AL, for that.
All right, let's go back here and pull up the campaign.
So yeah, the rest of the team is here on the cover. We've got the Golem right there. He's there stuck on the wall, but he kind of blends into the wall. We're gonna learn more about his powers in issue 3. What he's capable of doing. And we've got Father Mario there on the far left, and we have the Recluse. We got Ginny, but then we got the Trinacria, who is a very, artist. One thing I've learned is that some of the artists don't like drawing her that much. But I see it as a challenge for artists, to be able to draw her. But we'll learn more about the how important she is to the story and her bond with Father Mario. And then in the back we have Vlad in his battle costume, which we'll see upcoming in some upcoming issues.
And Vlad, we get introduced to at the end of issue 1, correct?
That is correct.
Yeah.
He shows up on the last page with Rennie, Dracula parrot. But yeah, we get to see more of Vlad and him welcoming Jenny and the Recluse to the team.
Yep. And Vlad was also seen in that first page that we previewed from the backup issue as well, where we get to kind of focus on the Golem. So.
Yeah, it's on the Golem story.
Yeah. And again, like if you're gonna get a add-on, please get that. Like they work so well together. Drew, do you want to kind of talk real quick? Because I know, were you the one that came up with Golem? Is that correct, Drew?
I forget. It's another one I forget really because it's been so long. Aurelio and I were working so hand in hand with this. I really forget. Did you come up with the Golem first? Yeah.
Was one of the characters I wanted to introduce too, and I have always on my sketchbook. It was pretty different because mine was a more custom-made Vigilantes approach at the beginning, and we talked with Dolan and decided to give him a more tactical aspect, maintaining him more clayman. We decided for the big jacket, the winter jacket with the hooded winter jacket. Just this a big, but we talked about especially about the origin of the character that I want to spoil, of course. But I think the visual we've worked together one, and I think was one of the more complicated character to bring to life, because especially maybe for the color, if I remember right.
Yeah. This was one we went back and forth on a lot. It took a lot of revisions to get it right.
Yeah, because at the beginning I wanted to make him blonde, but of course Dolan said to me that would have been having him of science is a man of clay, having just one tonal for the skin, etc. But I'm pretty happy how it turned out, and I think you're loving it on the book.
Yeah, I'll say I loved it.
We're not going to reveal. Who...
Go ahead.
Sorry, Josh. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just going to say I'm loving it, but I was going to say also Andrew Mangum last year when you were first trying to get him on board to start working on the second cover. I think you'd shown some concept art that you had for him, and then kind of told what the story was. And I just remember walking over to Andrew's booth, and he was like, "Man, I am so excited to draw this cover with your guy. Like, I've got so many ideas." So I think it's just a great character.
I have a very great background story that Dolan built about, especially because it was an argument that is really care for me and for him too, because we talked about the World War II times, etc. And especially we wanted to show as many Nazis killed as possible.
Yes, legitimate Nazis.
Yes. Not modern day. If you have a certain thought process.
Yes, kill as much Nazis as possible.
Right.
It gives when you read the issue and you see the motivation and you see what these monsters do, it's like, yes, you want these guys to go down horribly, and
exactly.
And it should hopefully happen. I believe it'll happen. But what was important was getting this because you're paying respect to what happened in World War II as well. You want to be as truthful and respectful as you can. So I had a good friend of mine. Her name's Sasha Kaplan. She's Jewish, and I gave her the story she was the first one I gave the full story to. I wanted her to look it over and to be like, "Hey, I wanted you to read this out of respect to you and the Jewish community. I want you guys to read this, see what you think. Is this something that you could be, I don't want to say proud of, but I mean more or less, is this something that you would enjoy reading, And yes, she liked it, and so I was glad to hear that.
Yeah.
So is that the process you guys use designing the characters on the team? Just kind of go back and forth between you and Aurelio and kind of figure it out?
Yeah, pretty much.
It's awesome. I love the characters, man. Such cool looking, all very unique. They all look like a lot of fun to draw.
Yeah, and that's just when I was trying to sell it at Dallas, it's just it's our love letter to 90s Image Comics. And Saturday morning cartoons, just very colorful, larger than life characters that if I were a 10, 11, 12-year-old kid and I saw these, I'm like, yeah, I want that action figure. It's like, I would love to have the Gollum action figure. I'd love to have the Recluse action figure where you can take off the arms, they turn into spider legs or whatever. Yeah, it just, these are characters that I would love to have toys of.
What do I always say, Drew? Like your character designs need to be toyetic. Yeah, Aurelio has nailed that. Like you have to, if and that's one thing that we kept getting compliments on at the table. People would look at the Unholy Nightmare book, they'd look at Kneel Before Doomface, and they'd be like, "Man, I love the character designs." And I would say, "Yeah, well, I mean, I'm a toy guy, and I impress upon everybody that I work with. Obviously, Aurelio is an artist, so he's very visual. Drew has a very visual sense of like what he wants. And the idea is, if you were walking through a toy store and you saw an action figure of this character and you had no idea who it was, would it make you stop? Would you go, "Oh, I want that. That looks cool"? And then would it make you want to find out more about the character? So that's what you have to have on your covers as well. And right now we're entering such a great period of superhero design, not so much from the big two, but from the video game companies that they're working with. Like we're seeing like Marvel Rivals, those designs are like blowing people's minds and they're making people interested in the characters. And unfortunately, then they go to the Marvel comics that are currently being produced and go, "Oh, I don't like this at all."
Like, oh, never mind.
Yeah, they're like, "Oh, this is they're eating cheesecake, huh? And talking about their feelings.
Yeah.
Oh, this one has a bad relationship with their mom. Okay."
Ooh.
That's not what I played the video game for. And then you've got people like Tom Brevoort in charge who are like, "Well, I don't think people are really interested in the characters. I think that the guy who is in charge, executive editor at Marvel, saying our characters don't interest people, the game function does." Like, how out of touch do you have to be, not only not to capitalize it, but to say something so stupid, to say that, "Oh, our characters don't have appeal." They absolutely have appeal when they're handled right. And these video game companies are coming in and they're looking at them and they're like, "How do we make them cool? How do we make them visually interesting? How do we grab people?" And that's what we're trying to do with every one of our books, with every one of our character designs, be it Doomface or be it Unholy Nightmare. That's what Aurelio's bringing to the table on this. When I first saw the design for the Recluse, I was blown away. And I told Drew, I want an action figure of that.
You're telling me.
Too,
I want it too.
Me too.
And then I basically, especially for example, once I draw the book, I have always around my action figure collection. So I have this giant figure from Pete, from Dale Keown Pete, or Capullo Screech. And then every time I draw the golem, I look at them and they say, "Yeah, he's a big guy like you."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, every team's got to have the big guy, and he's the heavy.
Yeah.
No, I love it. It's there's such the team when it's all together. It looks so impressive, and you're really going to be able to do some great covers with these characters. They're going to stand out. I can't wait. Like I'm already, having read issue 3, and and having the opportunity to read up to 13 if I want to. You're insane, Drew. It makes me excited for like what you guys are going to see, and it's almost like with my own books and even with Unholy Nightmare, working on it with Drew, I'm already so far past what you guys are getting that I'm like, "Oh yeah, issue 2, sure." I've been, it's like, but like what I'm really excited for is when they get to issue 4, when they get to issue 5. It's funny because when you're producing comics, you're always living in the past, like thinking about when you're going to reprint the old books, the present, the book that you're currently offering, and the future, the book that you're actually working on at that moment. It's a weird space to live in. But it's still just so gratifying to see number 2 done, ready to go, and I can't wait for you guys all to read it. And we're up to like 29 backers and almost to $1,100 on the campaign. So thank you guys.
That's awesome.
And thank you for and thank you for tweeting and spreading the word. We appreciate you guys getting the word out there. Even if you can't, I know times are tough, and I know that money's tight. And even if you're like, "Oh, I can't contribute for like a week or 2 weeks, or I can't get the book, or I'll just have to get a digital option, or if it's available." No matter what you can do, even just spreading the word, spreading the links, and telling your friends about it is extremely helpful.
Yeah, and there's one thing, I can say with pride is that we have the backstories down for every character, their origins, their tragedies, their triumphs. So there's no mystery boxes here. There's no JJ. We're not making this up as we go along. There is a story here. There are seeds being planted for future stories as well to come. There is a method to the madness.
And I'm so gratified to have been able to introduce Drew and Aurelio and to be able to work as editor on this book with them. And it's just been such out of all of the things that went wrong in the industry and went wrong at the company within that that we met in, the friendships and the connections and the artists that we work with coming out of that's really been the silver lining to pretty much Dark Cloud. And the silver lining is much larger than the cloud. So it's been a hell of an adventure, and I'm glad to be along for the ride.
I want to do a team
Everything
shot
happens
now.
for a reason.
I'm hyped to draw some of these new characters. I want to do a team
Well,
shot.
all right. Well, we'll see if we can get
Yes,
as soon as we're fully funded, we'll get cracking on some covers for issue 3.
Yeah, give Isaac something to draw besides pretty ladies. That's all anybody gives him.
I'll put one of the female characters in the front.
Yeah,
There you
well,
go. Compromise.
I was gonna say, I don't know if you want to talk about one of the new female characters, but I got her right here from that cover from the first issue.
So
Wait, I'm gonna make you. I'm gonna big screen you.
yeah,
Josh.
let's see a big shot of this.
Whoops.
Oh,
Josh, I'm gonna get rid of you completely, and then here we go. Let's see.
Yeah. This was drawn by Gaetano Petrigno. That is my hinker on issue 2.
Why is it only kicking you?
Go in the corner and click on the rectangular box, and it'll.
There we go.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Gotta get
That's
some
a
of
great
that off.
design.
But
yeah, that's right up my alley.
Aurelio, I mean, we won't give any plot details away, but you base this off something that's part of your culture,
Is
like folklore.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
a crazy design, man.
I am from Sicily, and the Trinacria was a character of our folklore. And during my career, I always tried to translate character as a superhero, give a superior possibility to this character. At the end, I asked Dolan, "Oh, you know what? There's this character, the Trinacria," and I've tried to explain the character, and he liked it. And I give her his kind of mentor or sidekick is Father Mario, that is an Italian priest, and was inspired by a movie called The Day of the Beast. It's a Spanish horror movie from Alex de la Iglesia. My advice is to take a look at this movie because it's really great. And so I asked Dolan if he was interested to give this kind of character that was never showed on a superhero comic book, especially in USA, because I think you never seen something about the Trinacria, if I don't mind, right?
Yeah. I've never heard of. It's a mythological character from folklore, Sicilian folklore.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
Exactly. I was always interested since I was a kid. This because if you look around and search about the Trinacria, you see these specific Gorgon characters. Especially, I was always inspired by these legs all around the head. This, to be honest, scared me a little bit when I was a kid. So
that makes it cooler, right?
Yeah.
We are picturing great things for her, especially from an horror evolution during the book. We don't spoil nothing, but from a visual and physical mutation side, we have lots to do with her.
Yeah, it just I'm. If you're talking about that, I'm already, because I'm going back and thinking about the scripts of the upcoming issues, like issues 3 and 4 and 5, and we have all the characters interacting with each other, and we see how they're all unique in their own ways, and how they all tend to get under each other's skin in each way, and how I love approaching Vlad with the point of view that this is a guy, he's hundreds of years old. He's going to be teasing anyone and everyone he can. This is a guy who's probably been, your life for that long. I'm sure you're going to experiment. I'm sure he's been with, anything and everyone. So I'm sure I have him like, verbally teasing, sexually, like different characters, along the way, just winding them up. And it's fun having him interact with Father Mario, having these two guys go at it. It's just fun, getting in this, creating conflict. Love it.
Especially because Father Mario looks like
Donald Pleasance.
Old man. He stays so kind at the beginning, but it's not like.
No, he turns like a gruff priest. Yeah, but there's an origin story we're going to be telling with Father Mario and Trinacria that we see what really led Father Mario down this dark path, and it's not good.
Now, Drew, remind me, the Golem is an add-on or it's part of the book?
Correct, it's an add-on. The Golem is an add-on.
And who colored this issue? I'm asking because I'm putting out a tweet right now and I can't remember.
Who colored the full issue of issue 2?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was not Kel.
I put you on the spot.
I'm blanking right now. Oh, shame on me.
While you're looking that up real quick, TriStar did mention that he's got a...
Yeah, thank you again for having me. I'm gonna head out, and I wanted to say thank you for using my cover as the campaign cover. I thought that was really cool.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, TriStar. Do you have anything that you want to promote or you want to pimp? Before you,
promote. Let's see. I wasn't ready for that trick question. I think the next convention I know I'm going to be at is Fan Expo Chicago, and then I'm waitlisted for Raleigh, so I don't know if I'm going to be there or not. What do I have coming out? I have a Darkstalkers cover coming out next month. Ooh. I think that's the next one I have.
Doing some Udon work. Impressive.
Yeah, well, I had my Street Fighter one came out last year. That was my first Udon one. And then, I have my Darkstalkers coming out. And I have a bunch of stuff that's in the pipeline for the people, but I'm not sure when it's going to come out or anything yet. But by Fan Expo Chicago, I should have some new stuff. So if anyone's in Chicago, please come visit. Drew, or you guys going to be in Chicago?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, I had a lot of fun with you guys last year. That's why I asked.
Okay, yeah.
We went to when you, me, Murphy, Steve went on to dinner. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, drinking whiskey out of a coffee cup. That restaurant.
Too much. But anyway, thanks again for having me. And I appreciate it. And congratulations on the launch. And it seems like it's going to go pretty well.
I hope so.
Thanks for joining us, man.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, of course. And thanks again for having me. All right. Well, thank you guys, and I'll talk to you guys again later. See ya.
See you, man.
Yeah, I think our next con is what, San Diego, Drew?
I'll actually next one for me is Vegas. I'll be at Amazing Con.
Oh, that's right, Vegas. Oh, and Max and I were talking about flying up just to hang out.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Then after that should be San Diego because we have a certain cosplayer doing something special for us for Unholy Nightmare, and well, I can't share who or what they're doing, but there's more to come on that.
Are you going to do some cosplay covers, or are they just Oh yeah, all right.
I'm going to reveal it. It's me, and I'm dressing up as Trinacria. just contain your excitement. Don't get too excited. I know everyone wants to see these tatas. So,
AL, the plan is to be at NYCC. It's a little bit of a ways away, so anything can change. But right now, that is the plan. Is for at least for Drew and I. I don't know about I don't know if Josh and Max are going to get their sexy asses down there, but obviously we would love it if they did.
Yeah.
But they have legitimate jobs.
Oh, well, I was going to say I would love to. Yeah.
Yeah, Aaron and I, we had a blast last year in New York. Yeah, hope we get to do it again.
Maybe my foot will be healed by then.
Yeah. We can share another couch couch mattress. No, you can be the big
Oh
spoon
my
this
god!
time.
Oh my god! That was so miserable. That torture rack of a fold out. Oh. We'll like Josh. We need you there so that we can put you in charge of accommodations, so we can get another cool spot.
Right. I'll see what I can do. I'll see what I can find.
By New York, I should be well into the campaign for Kneel Before Doom Phase 2 at that point.
Ooh.
And so I will actually have copies of. I have to go to New York because I have to have exclusive Kneel Before Doom Face full books there for sale.
Yeah.
To interest the 12 people that still buy comics that go to these shows.
I kind of want to pop it to JC for a second because I know we looked at his cover earlier. There was that homage. Have we kind of discussed anything, or maybe you mentioned a character that you're like, hey, Drew, if you want me to do another cover, I would love to kind of, take this.
You know what? Shame on me. Shame on me. I haven't asked him what he'd like to draw. I've always been giving him things to draw.
Well,
Drew, what the hell?
I will say, to be fair, there was a point in time where like 8 people were like, yo, I can't wait to draw Gollum. And you're like, yo, we have Gollum on a lot of covers. I got to do something else.
That's always the thing.
I love the characters. I really love the character design of the book. It's really beautiful, really. I think the Golem is my favorite because I like big monsters and horror and stuff like that. But all of them are great. And I think I did like 2 more covers featuring the Golem.
Yeah, you've done at least 2. One of which I am very, very psyched for. Because let's just say it here. You've done a series of Stephen Platt homage covers, and all of which are amazing. But one of which has me giddy like the 11-year-old I was when I first saw that cover. So it's just when I showed them to Aaron, I'm like, I don't know what I want to show these as soon as I can, but at the same time I want to save them for the upcoming books. It's like, what do I do here? I'm so spoiled right now. And
it's torture. It's absolute torture.
Oh yeah, yes. And I think that if you remember, we did it the big cover where there was like a big horde of guys going into the fight. It was really tough to draw, and maybe I don't know if you got it colored or you're saving it to keep it black and white because it would be too much of a trouble to color that thing.
Well, the thing is, I love torturing Dan Kemp, so I'm gonna have him color that. I haven't given it to him yet because it's gonna take some time, I think. So
yeah, and when I was doing it, I was like, oh man, he's gonna hate me. He's gonna hate me because there's too much going on in there.
He's hated me for a while.
I can stop when I get into the kind of composition, which is a lot of trouble. But I'm halfway into it. I just gotta finish it, not to try and do something else because it's too difficult. I just have to go in and go finish it. But what I was thinking when I was drawing all those crazy details, I was like, man, Dan is going to hate me. He's going to hate me.
And hey, what's great about that cover you're mentioning is that directly reflects what happens in the book. That happens in issue 3. So it's a shocker to have a cover that reflects what happens in the book, which is it seems to be a novel concept anymore.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
By the way, Drew, I'm texting you while we're talking. So Max, I have a question for you. Staying in a house with Drew and I and Josh being giddy about comics, like how often do you have to hear story things that you're like, I didn't know that was going to happen in your book. Why are you telling me this?
Well,
why can't I just didn't experience it?
I guess that's kind of like the fun part, the exciting part, but also kind of the interesting part about having such creative individuals as friends, because I do get to hear these story ideas, and there are some that I will ask about, like, is this currently in the book? Or like, Aaron, you have an omnibus of or sized PDF of Darkwing stuff that I haven't gotten a chance to go through. And so there are parts where I'm like, should I read that or do I need to wait and read that? But you have so many great ideas that I want to see come to fruition, that I'm like, are these in the book or should I wait and to wait and see, or should I listen? So it's always fun to have you guys bounce ideas to me, because I am not a creative individual, but I love the art of reviewing things. I love the art of experiencing art, if that makes sense. So getting to see you guys create is almost an art form in itself, because I don't know how to do that. And so it's really, really interesting to see, like, man, where do you get your inspiration, or how do these things come into fruition or into existence? And so it's always really fun to be in a household full of creative minds, because I'm just like, I don't know what that's like.
So Josh teased this earlier, Aaron. I was going to show it. You talked about my black notebook. This what I got here. This is I shared it with you, Aaron, when we were there. I've got everything, all my stories, just everything is just all the issues just broken out. Just everything is how I start off all my stuff. Everything is just written down.
People are going to freeze frame it and find out what happens.
Take screen captures, zoom in.
Yeah, it's all written in chicken scratch cursive, so it's very, very hard to read anyway.
Sell it on the black market.
Yeah.
Marvel's going to get
pages of everything.
Like, Drew's Black Book is on a pirate site. How did that happen?
Yeah, that's where they all start. Starts here in the notebook, then type it in the old computer, and before you know it, there you go.
I wanted to, Aaron, Clifton has a really good comment that would be good to kind of pass around to the panel, just concerning comics, that I think is awesome.
Sure. How far back is it? Did I miss it?
It's toward the bottom.
842. It's the second from the bottom.
Oh, okay. I missed a super chat too that I got to go back to. Questions for the panel: who or what got you into comics? Drew, you are the star of the show right now. You and Aurelio. So let's start with you.
Well, it's a story I love sharing. When I was a kid here growing up in Indiana, my uncle, he ran a magazine and comic book distribution plant in the city, and he would frequently come to our house when the new comic books would come out. He had this huge, massive cardboard box. Every week, he would drop off at our house with all the damaged comic books. So we'd have damaged copies of all the early Image stuff, like Nightfall, 0 Hour, Kingdom Come, all these random copies that we're reading. We didn't care that they were damaged. We're reading them. And I was literally a kid at candy store reading all these for free, and that's what got me into comics. And two of the very first comics that I ever read, that one was a Uncanny X-Men. I believe it was 166. It's the X-Men versus the Brood. Paul Smith on the art. Mm-hmm. And there was a panel where Wolverine, he's sniffing out the X-Men who are the Brood, who've been taken over, and he sniffs out Cyclops. He slashes his visor, and you just see Cyclops' eyes all Brood bug-eyed out. That got permanently burned in the back of my brain to this day. And another one was a action Adventures of Superman by Jerry Ordway. It was 453. It was when Superman's in exile, and he's low on oxygen. He's on this planetoid, and he's hallucinating seeing the three Kryptonians that he had just executed. He's hallucinating seeing the Guardian, Lois, and all them. Just it's right before he gets picked up in the massive spaceship to go fight on Warworld. Reading that, my first Superman comic, it blew my mind. And Jerry Ordway on the art it's lights out. And I always recommend everyone check out Superman Exile. It's one of the greatest Superman stories ever. I think Dylan can back me on that.
Yes, it's great.
Aurelio, how about you? I imagine you're going to have some obscure European stuff to introduce us to.
I basically draw since I have memory. My mom told me that I started to draw copying the Master of the Universe carded figure stuff. I started from them because here in Italy, the mini comic book that was contained Into the Figures usually was published into a strips that was selling the newsstand here in Italy. I started from them, but what was the explosion of, was reading Spider-Man for the first time. And the strange things was that in Italy, there was Spider-Man classic stories, so John Romita, Steve Ditko. And in the same time was the period of Todd McFarlane Spider-Man. So my dad bought me both copies, and I said, "What happened? What happening?" And I remember the classic Todd McFarlane Spider-Man illustration with Spidey in that poses, with that kind of webs, etc. And my mom said to me, "Oh, you could do this job once you will grown up." So, but I basically always like draw. But about comics was, I think, thanks to Master of the Universe action figure, I can say.
Oh, I love to hear that. It's funny because that's something that, like, okay, so like right now, I'm working on some customs.
Yeah,
Masters of the Universe. So I'm making a faker Man at Arms. I'm basically making a faker family. One of the things when we got to pitch, when Jesse Snyder and I got to pitch for Masters of the Universe, before they gave it to DC and James Robinson. Which, if you're gonna get beat out by somebody, James Robinson's the guy to get beat out. Is a guy to get beat out by. But that was one of the ideas that we had, is that Faker is building he's now like so obsessed with replacing He-Man that he's building his own family of Faker robots to replace him. So yeah, obviously Masters of the Universe, big influence on me as well. There's a King Clawful I made with the two giant claws on both sides. So yeah, just right here on my desk, Aurelio. So it's great that you mentioned that. Max, what got you into comics, man?
So funny enough, I walked into a comic store thinking that it was a toy store, which I guess it was, because it was both. It had like Pokemon cards and toys and comics. But I just remember looking at the rack and seeing early on Wolverine titles. So like here, actually, it's I'm kind of organizing my
Mark Silvestri.
Oh yeah.
But like the Mark Silvestri 1993 to maybe like 1996 stuff is just like perfect. And so if you're a young kid and you see Wolverine looking like this on the shelf, you're gonna instantly fall in love with comic books. So that was my introduction, and then I started getting into like I loved Green Lantern and Superman, and so I just from there I think I fell into that hole. But another book that I remember, I think one of the first books I ever remember reading was David Finch on The Darkness, and I forget which issue it was, but yeah, something like that, that's like very similar to Unholy Nightmare, Drew, where it's like horrific but so realistic and dark, like dark inks, dark colors, almost like a horror movie. That was just so rad to me, because you think of like superheroes with the big capes and the bright colors, and so David Finch Darkness on Image and Top Cow, I was just like, okay, what is Top Cow? Because I want all of it. So that was my introduction to comics, big into the 90s stuff. But,
watch out, JC. Now you're gonna get David Finch Darkness covers to homage from Drew.
Hey, there you go.
Awesome. I love his work. Yeah, cool.
So Edward Hawa for $5. Thank you. Wes appreciates that. Says my Kickstarter app is sucking, but the link you posted got it done. Pledged with add-ons. Thanks. Thank you, Edward. We absolutely appreciate your support. So JC, what got you into comics, man? What was your eureka moment?
Oh yeah, in my case, I grew up. I'm Salvadorian. I'm not in the U.S. You can see that because of my accent. it is a small country next to near Mexico. So we got reprints from the 60s Marvel's comics. So I grew up with Kirby and John Buscema and Gene Colan, all the big masters. I grew up with those guys. And in the 80s, I kind of, got distracted with video games and heavy metal and whatnot. And I forgot about comics for a bit. And then I got into the Image era with all the, the Young Bloods and all the Wildcats, Cyberforce and all that. And that stuff really blew my mind. So I got back into comics. And that's when I started to really, trying to learn how to do all that stuff, because I fell in love with comics again because of the Image revolution. So since then, I have been trying to learn as much as I can, and been doing comics since 2002. Pretty much that was how it happened.
Yeah, no, that's. I mean, so you guys were getting reprints there of like the American stuff, and it was getting you hooked in. Were they translated into Spanish, or was it?
Oh yeah. It was translated into Spanish. It came, that stuff came from Mexico. I didn't know how to speak English at the time. I think I didn't even know how to read, but just the pictures got me interested in that. So yeah, I grew up with all the Fantastic Four, the Daredevil, the John Romita Senior Spider-Man from the 60s. And then we got the 90s stuff. So there was a big chunk of comics that we didn't get, like the 80s. I don't know why, but the 80s stuff we didn't get here. At least in my country, we didn't get it. So it was the 60s and some of the 70s, and then the 90s.
Oh, that's awesome, man. I love hearing that. And, one of the things that, some people might not know, I know a lot of us do, but Mexico, when they got the Spider-Man comic where Gwen Stacy was killed, there was such an uproar because they loved Gwen Stacy so much that Marvel's timeline actually diverged for them. And they kept producing comics where Gwen Stacy was still alive in Mexico because they would not accept the fact that she was dead.
Yeah.
So that's, I would love to have a run of like the Mexican
comics. They just put together, I think, the omnibus of those stories.
Did they really? Oh,
yeah.
I need to pick that up because I want to read those. That sounds amazing.
Can we find a way to do that with modern comics? Can we just revolt and be like, we don't accept this?
Yeah, just like
publishing line.
Just a whole other timeline where things don't suck. That would be amazing. Dylan, you're up, man. What got you into comics?
So I grew up in Florida, and my mom would take me and my siblings, I'm the youngest of four, to the library and just unleash us, let us loose. And I found this section where they had beanbag chairs and bins of comics that people had donated. And that's how I got into comics. I just shuffled through those, go sit on the beanbag chairs, and just read comics. I remember getting really into Ed McGuinness' Superman because it looked sick. He was ginormous. It was so cool. I remember. I don't know what my first comic I read was, but I do remember Superman 175, which is when Lex was president and Doomsday gets unleashed because it was a Joker's Last Laugh tie-in. So Joker let him out, and Superman fights him, and it's so cool. And it's when Superman had the black background behind the Superman logo, sort of a Max Fleischer type throwback. And that issue's so cool. He takes on Doomsday. There's like this splash page where Superman has knocked out Doomsday unconscious, and you got the Lincoln Memorial in the background, and it looks so awesome.
I remember the first time I remember seeing Ed McGuinness's art was on Joe Kelly's Deadpool #1. And I was already generally kind of interested in Deadpool because of the Circle Chase. I was buying comics at the time when New Mutants 98 hit and they first introduced Deadpool. And, I was like, yeah, Deadpool looks neat. But he didn't really interest me at that point because he didn't have a lot of personality. And his, he kind of had like a sarcastic quality to him, but it wasn't particularly funny or well done. And it wasn't until the Circle Chase, which I picked up because I was like, oh, I kind of remember this character, but it had Joe Mad art, and I already knew that I liked Joe Mad stuff. So I started getting the Circle Chase, and then that led me into Joe Kelly's run with Ed McGuinness, and that's where I first noticed him. And then I just followed him wherever he went from that point on.
Yeah, it's sad that he's stuck on a very bad Spider-Man run recently. Because I haven't seen Ed McGuinness in forever, and then I had to read it for one of the aficionados streams. I was like, "This is where he is. He's in Spider-Man jail."
I know. It's like meanwhile, it's like I'm curious how much they're paying Joe Mad to come back and do the covers for the Age of Apocalypse, because I'm like, oh, Marvel, you actually convinced me to buy something, because I'm going to buy every single Joe Mad variant because I love his work so much, and hopefully the book is good. Because that would be a nice bonus for a change.
Yeah.
They got me back for that because, but Joe Mad went off to video games, and I just assumed that's where Ed McGuinness went too. I assumed he was making big video game money, but maybe not. I hope Marvel's paying him well.
Yeah, he still got it too. Like some guys fall off, but he still got it.
Yeah, no, he's still great. Josh, how about you?
I think my discovery of comics is really interesting. So I've got 3 older brothers and they all read comics, but it was threatening my life if I wanted to read them because they held them as precious commodities. So I've got little 2-year-old, 3-year-old me that's like, well, they're doing it, I want to be a part of it. And then it's like, listen, you can look at it, don't touch it. And they're flipping through the pages. But I remember them having a lot of the X books from the 80s and early 90s. I remember Superman books. And they didn't really have any Batman books. And if anyone knows me and my history, I've got a big Batman history. But I remember in 1992, the Batman the Animated Series came out, and I'm like, oh, this is great. Why don't they have books of this guy? And I will never forget going into a gas station. I'm from a small farm town. And they had a spinner rack next to the cash register. And it was like a Batman book. And I just remember being like, they do exist. And then we were screwed after that. So it kind of became a monthly thing that if I was doing well in school, they'd let me go get a comic book. And that's where my full-on love of comics really began. And I could totally mess those books up without my brothers getting mad at me. So, but yeah,
look, Max is so excited about comic books that he's reading one on the street.
He's reading them.
He held up his Wolverine books, and then he was like, oh, shit, I want to read these.
Yeah. Can we talk about sweet little baby Max? It was like, oh, when I was a little kid, there was a toy shop with Pokemon cards, and I'm like, bro, Pokemon cards were so past my youth. I still had them, but I love
Max. Max, when I was a boy, we would get on our bicycles and we would ride around the neighborhood, and old ladies would pay us a nickel to clean their gutters, and we would save those nickels up to buy a comic book.
Look at that Sabretooth, man. Yeah, that's great.
Adam Kubert, look, Wolverine's been blessed to have a lot of great artists, but Adam Kubert, that era when Wolverine became more feral, when he lost the adamantium and he had the bone claws, that was for me like my primetime Wolverine. I have the black and white editions of that, the Essential Wolverine. That's the only way to read that Wolverine run by Larry Hama and Adam Kubert. It is beautiful.
Oh yeah, no, those Essential editions are killer. Now, Aaron, when you went to the comic store, did you have to go 30 miles both ways in the snow and the heat?
No, we had to go maybe go 8 blocks on our bikes up to the Circle K. That was the closest place. And then you could go a little farther to a place called Sky Country Liquor, and they had a different selection of comic books. So what you would do was you would jump on your bike, because your parents would throw you out of the house and tell you don't come back until the street lights are coming on.
Yeah, which
was difficult in my neighborhood because there was only a couple of street lights on certain streets. It was really rural. I grew up in the rural barrio. So we would get on our bikes, we'd go up to the Circle K. Then we'd be like, well, let's go see what the Sky Country Liquor has, and we would go there, and we would end up going on a quest in one day to see how many good comic books we could find.
That's cool.
That was super fun. I mean, we didn't know any better. Nobody ever tells you that you're living the good life while you're living it. I think there's a line in The Office where it's like, I wish that there was a way to recognize the good old times while you were going through them.
Yeah. I mean, as a kid of the 80s going into the 90s, not realizing that all those animated series and how good comics were, I think as a kid you're like, yeah, this is the start of something great. You don't realize that it's just great. It is great. So
well, I think Aaron, you kind of did something that now we as adults tend to do, but just in our car. But I'll have a certain amount of comics that I'm looking for, and I'll go to different shops around our area and just go from shop to shop and go, I'm gonna go back issue bin diving, and it's pretty fun. It's kind of like looking for, it's like a scavenger hunt. You're looking for that issue. So and now that we have some disposable income, you can do that. But to your point though, Josh, I agree. I think the peak of comic books of all time may be 1986 and between 1986 and 1989.
Yeah.
I don't know if there was, because every title was gangbusters. Every title slapped. Every title was just, Daredevil, X-Men, Wolverine. Well,
John
actually,
Byrne,
Wolverine
Superman.
wasn't. Yeah, Superman was was killing it. Yeah, man, I just feel like that era was just so rad.
Once I got into everything. And when I found
Yeah.
out that there was actual comic book stores and I started looking them up, because my uncle was like, "Oh, you like comic books, huh?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, but I can't. I was like, I'm missing this one and I'm missing that one, because they would show up sporadically at some of the stores. And he's like, "Well, there's like a comic book section in the back of the coin store next to the aquarium place, right?" And I was like, "No." And he was like, "Yeah, you want to go?" And I was like, "Yes." So like we got in the car and we went, and they had a pull box. So like I started a pull box, but they also, I would say, "Do you have this issue? Do you have this issue?" And you couldn't really thumb through their back issues because the store was really small, but they had like a back stock and they would go and they would pull like what you were asking for if they had it. And that's where I started to get into Comico, and I started reading like the Elementals by Bill Willingham, which were too adult for me at the time, but like still I was like, oh, these are awesome. And just started like on the back issue hunt. And then the first time I ever walked into a place that was like, it was probably a lot smaller than I remember it, but I just remember it being warehouse sized and boxes upon boxes of back issues and being able to go and like thumb through and find things. It was just like a revelation. Now I only have the patience to go through a few boxes before.
Well, Max turns into Gollum over there, like hunched over, digging through, and he finds one. He's like, "Yes." Oh,
no! One time we went to a show, and there was a bunch of like dollar books, like dollar X-Men books, but they were like Joe Madera and things like that. And I was pulling them out, and I was like, "Max, buy this, buy this, buy this," and like I created a stack for him of like stuff that I'm like, "This is all really good." And even in Dallas, I turned you on to Body Bags, which you had never read.
Mm-hmm.
And so, it's fun being able to like, oh, our little baby Max, it's like, it's fun being able to like re-experience the excitement of certain books and stories through him.
Well, that's the cool part is that like, I don't know. I like the dollar bin issues because you can get a ton of them. And like you said, it's all Joe Mad stuff. So like Aaron's just pulling out these back issue, like, X-Men Joe Mad things. And I'm just like, $1 each, absolutely, I'll take this off your hands, right? To add to the collection. And then it is funny though, because I'll get introduced to these new books, but the entry point is great. $1, that's easy. And then thanks to Drew this weekend, I was introduced to Big Trouble in Little China, Vampires, Demolition Man, and what was
Tango and Cash.
Tango and Cash. And then we watched Waiting as well, which I didn't. So man, 5 brand new movies I've never seen before.
And then you experienced a little bit of Mitchell, just to take the edge off.
I will be completely honest. I was not paying attention to Mitchell.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely fine. That's absolutely fine. But it is a classic Mystery Science Theater episode.
Okay. Sorry to interrupt. I got to head out, guys. Thank you for having me. This was really fun.
Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming, Dylan. I always like hearing your
later, man.
stories. So.
See you guys.
Later, brother. Right. So SuperCam813 for $4.99 says, Aaron just backed Unholy Nightmare 2. Once again, it was great meeting you and Drew back at MegaCon this year. Yeah, dude, that's really fun. I saw a comment from Zeke earlier too, and I put it up on screen. I meant to get back to it and read it, but he said that he and Val were super excited to read Unholy Nightmare 2. They are 2 fans that came out to meet us at Dallas Fan Expo, spent a lot of time with us hanging around the table. That's really what it's all about. I really love that aspect of it. And I think that if you don't appreciate the people that are, watching your content, that are reading your books, that are supporting you, you need to figure out how to do something else, because that's a huge part of the equation. So Isaac, I'm sorry, go ahead, Josh, and then we'll get to Isaac's entry point.
I was just going to say, even with us, like we do these shows and we always talk about how we're just a bunch of nerds that like being able to talk about stuff that we love, And then I think it's because we're on YouTube or have YouTube channels of varying degrees or whatever it might be. Sometimes people that watch us, like they're there is a concern of, are you gonna be cool when I meet you in public? Because so many people haven't been for them. So they walk up, they're like, "Oh, I'm so and so and so." You're like, "Oh, hey, what's up?" And then you're like, "Oh, well, what's your handle?" And they say, they're like, "Oh my god!" And then it's an hour and a half long conversation just talking about nerd shit. So I think we're all.
We get to share. Have you? So I'll let Isaac talk about his entry into comics, and then we got to share about a story involving Darkwing and Aaron from the convention.
Oh yes.
Okay, Isaac, tell us what got you into comics, brother.
All right. Well, when I was in second grade, all the kids were trading the Marvel Series 2 cards. I don't know if you guys remember.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I still have mine.
Me too.
Right? Oh, that's awesome. I don't have any of mine anymore. But yeah, I would trade those with my friends, and that's what introduced me to superheroes. And my parents were really strict about stuff. So like the first comic I ever got was Captain America, and then they went through it and they cut a bunch of stuff out. Like there was an ad with Wolverine on it. He was too violent. He's got knives on his hands, so they cut that out of the comic, and there was like a Crossbones backstory that they cut out too.
Oh my gosh!
What?
Yeah. So, yeah.
I know the run that you're talking about too, like just based on that.
Yeah, it was after Bloodstone,
was,
right? Yeah, I think
it was Operation Galactic Storm, one of those.
Yep.
Yeah. So, but I really loved like Venom and Wolverine, the X-Men, and all of that. But I wasn't allowed to get those comics, so I had like a secret stash where I would get especially when I found out about Image, I had like a secret stash of all the good stuff hidden away. But I will say, the stuff I was allowed to read introduced me to the early it was Stan Lee and Steve Ditko Spider-Man run. So that was some of the earliest stuff I read as a kid, and those are fantastic stories for kids. That early Spider-Man stuff.
Yeah. I love that when our parents were walking into our rooms and they were like, "Why is there a lump under your bed? What is that?" And they're expecting to see nudie magazines, and it's really the comics they wouldn't buy for us.
Comic
Right.
book.
Good times.
Yeah.
Right? You're like they're like, oh, you're just a nerd.
Yeah. My mom was like, "Why can't you just be normal?"
I don't know.
Sorry, Mom.
This is fun. I like it.
And hey, guys, I gotta let you all go, but thank you so much for having me on here. It's been such an honor to be involved with this project, and just all the enthusiasm you guys all have for what you're doing is so infectious. I love being around that. So I'm glad I got to finally meet some of you. Like I've been a big fan for a long time with so many of you guys. So yeah, it's great meeting you all.
Yeah, no,
Likewise.
thanks for joining us, Isaac. Thanks for your work.
you.
Thanks for sharing it with us, and thanks for coming on. We appreciate having you.
For sure. Thanks, guys, and have a great rest of the stream.
You
Thanks,
too.
man.
We'll talk about it.
Nice meeting
Talk about
you.
issue 3 later. We'll get you on something for issue 3.
Oh yeah, sounds good.
Oh yeah.
All right.
And then Drewski, just a quick update for you. So we're currently at 35 backers, and we're $39 away from 1,500. So
Woo! All right, there we
really
go.
close.
I think, from what I recall, I think we're doing significantly better than issue 1 when we launched. So
I think so. I'd have to go
Yeah.
back and look, but yes, I do think so.
Yeah.
Aaron, are you okay if I tell the story about you? I feel like if you
Yeah.
tell it, no one's gonna believe you.
No, you tell. Yeah, go ahead and tell it. Yeah, if I tell it, it sounds self-aggrandizing,
So-
and it sounds like I'm making it up.
And I shared with you the photos, Josh. So if you can, I don't know if you can
Oh,
share them,
shit.
or you can share them to Aaron.
Oh no.
I got the photos. So these are.
I will try to pull them up as we are getting this going.
This is the funniest story. This legitimately happened. It's
So we're all kind of sitting at the booth at Fan Expo, and I'm just chilling there. And we'd had some people come up, and they were kind of talking and looking at the books and everything. And as we're sitting there, Aaron sees this person walk by with a massive gray hat, and I just hear him go, "Is that Darkwing?" And he goes, "Are you Darkwing?" And this lady, this female, stops. She's like, "Yeah, it's a homemade costume." Da, da, da. So she's putting it on. He's like, "Oh, that's awesome!" And he's like, "I'm asking because I wrote Darkwing. I wrote it for Boom, And the moment he says, I wrote Darkwing for Boom, like she's already been looking at him for a good 30 seconds to a minute, just kind of like looking at this guy, like, let me put my costume on real quick. And then she goes, are you Aaron Sparrow? So no facial recognition at all. It was 100% Darkwing at Boom that was like, light bulb, I know this guy. And then she's like, not only do I know you, I know that they didn't use your dialogue for these issues and this, but then they put it in the collect. Like, she is just going through, and I was like, this is wild. But yeah, I thought it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, it was.
Pull up
it was really funny. And I told him, I said, like no one would believe me if I said, like, yeah, sure, that happened. And it happens in weird, like at cons, of course, you know, that'll happen. It's happened a couple times outside of a Disney store where people actually did recognize me, you know, recognize my face, and were like, are you Aaron Sparrow? And then one time I had, I was leaving a restaurant, and and then I just logged into Twitter as I was sitting in the passenger seat of my friend's car, and I saw someone had tagged me, and they said, I think I just saw Aaron Sparrow eating at this restaurant, but I was afraid to go up to him. And I was like, why would you be afraid to come up to me? You should have come up and said hi. So, but it's at a con, like, I mean, just the reaction, because she was like, are you Aaron Sparrow? And I was like, yes.
And I captured the if you look at the pictures I just sent Josh, I captured that moment right when she said, after she just said, are you Aaron Sparrow? She's like, oh my God, it's like literally right when that happened.
Yes. I'm trying to get them pulled up for us real quick.
So funny. Usually someone at a con says, are you Aaron Sparrow? And then I have to duck a swing. So, you know, it's nice to be appreciated.
She got so excited, I will add, that she then proceeded to like just pass her head to me so she could talk to Aaron. So I was like just holding her massive Darkwing.
Yeah, it was funny. Like Josh just standing there, like I glanced at you one point, and it occurred to me, I was like, Josh is just there holding the Darkwing head.
No, I was loving it though. I was loving it. Hold on, I'm sending the picture so I can pull them up. But so give me a second. But I thought it's great. I love when people like. I think I've gotten used to people recognizing us facially from the shows and stuff, that I thought it was great that someone recognized you from your work.
Yeah, that was really gratifying.
I think if you're a creator, that's ultimately what you hope people are able to do. They either recognize your name from the work, or they see your art, or they see your writing, and they just go, oh my God, I know who this person is. Because that means you've got some type of signature in what you've done. So I thought that was something that was really, really special.
I'm so glad she found you, but also that you recognized that she was Darkwing, because like it was towards the end of the night. It was a Friday night. It was towards the end, so like people were kind of wrapping up. It was crowded, and like all of a sudden, I just like it just kind of happened, and I was like, wait, what? I wasn't sure what was going on. So I'm glad that you had the situational awareness to be like, that's Darkwing, you know. But yeah,
I'm always excited to see a Darkwing cosplayer or a Gizmo Duck cosplayer, or, you know, some member of the cast, or somebody dressed up as one of the characters from Darkwing, because that is, you know, that's I love that character so much, and as off as I am, as off Disney as I am, you know, current Disney is not the same as when I worked on that character. As much as I like don't have any interest in doing like mainstream work anymore, Darkwing is a character I would go back to in a heartbeat. And I'd even take a low page rate on, because I just love that character so much. And I loved working with Silvani so much on that book. And you know, at some point we need to finish that story, because we had a lot of stuff we didn't get to do.
Aaron, will you check and see if JC's hiding in the green room, back room?
Oh yeah, did we lose JC and then he came back? Let's see. There he is.
Perfect.
Thank you, guys.
JC, welcome
I
back.
don't know what happened.
It's the internet. Aaron, I sent you, or I've got one of the pictures queued up, and this is the moment she realized. This was the oh my God, are you Aaron Sparrow moment, if you want to pull up that image.
Okay, let me find where that is.
See, if I click this red button, smash the red button. There we go.
There it is. And look at the big Darkwing in her hand there. It's awesome. Like that big Darkwing head that she said, like if someone had made it for somebody, and then that person had flaked out on it, and she just like swooped in and bought it. And you can see there's actually some Darkwings on the table there, some Darkwing comics. She cleaned me out. She bought everything I had. and
She
and
did.
I signed everything for her. So it
awesome.
was really a lot of fun. So yeah, I've actually got to skip out for a few minutes, but Josh, I'll let you lead the charge since you are a regular show host, and I will be back.
Okay, wait, before you go, will you just remove that image? I can't remove anything. There we go.
Yes,
Perfect.
there you go. So you were in charge at the moment.
I will lead some conversations.
All right.
One, I'm gonna say we know we've got JC over in El Salvador, but Aurelio, you are in Italy right now. So what time is it for you right now?
4:30 almost.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Well, I would have to be like injecting caffeine into my veins to stay awake. But Aurelio, what would you say was probably your favorite thing to work on in this issue? I mean, we'll try not to give away specific
Josh,
spoilers.
Can you share the campaign? We just crossed over 1,500.
I can't share. I don't have mod access, so we'll get to that when Aaron gets back. I've also got a separate cover we're going to bring up that. I mean, one of the panel members worked on it. It may not necessarily be for Unholy Nightmare, but I don't.
My favorite of issue 2.
Yeah, what was your favorite thing to do in issue 2? Like when you got the script, is there a certain scene you were like, "Oh, I cannot wait to draw this"?
Yeah, okay. There is a specific panel. Just I don't want to have the risk to spoil nothing, but no, basically I've shared this page, so it's okay. I have draw Jenny and the Recluse in front of the mausoleum. That is and I have make an homage to the Rob Liefeld's Wildcats characters, full of weapons all around. Shoulder pads with grenades, etc. And once I read the script the first time, I have to say, yeah, I know how I will draw this scene, this specific scene, and I really can't wait because I make I make a quick shot of the characters with this new kind of weapons. For example, if you look at the Recluse Gauntlet from issue 1 on issue 2 is a little bit different and is more similar to the idea I had at the beginning where I have think about the characters. So I was able to put everything in that panel, in that specific panel. I was really, really, really excited to do that pages.
Nice.
Yeah, I can say that was one of my favorite page.
Perfect. Yeah, I will say too, and I'll let you guys kind of touch on this, and then we'll pull up the campaign page real quick. But we kind of touched on the fact that there's all these new characters here. Do we want to? I'm sure people are wondering how they fit into the story. So I would just say, are these guys good guys? Are they bad guys? Do we not know? Is it kind of up in the air? Like, what can we expect to unfold?
What we can expect is that everything. It's said in the trailer. Things aren't what they appear to be.
Right.
So how you think the story is going to play out as you go through issues 2 and 3. By the end of issue 3, it's like, oh, this is not what I expected. It's not, it's not not the way I thought. It's not going the way I thought it was going to go. Because by the end of issue 4, I want it to be a big like Mark Miller, left turn where it's just like, oh shit, what the hell just happened? So,
to be fair, when you told me what happens going in from that to issue 5, my response was, holy shit.
Yeah. Yeah, because look, I'll just say right here, Mark Miller, in my opinion, is a textbook comic book writer. Like he's doing it right. He's able to tell well-paced, action-packed comic book stories that give you every bang for your buck, shocks, surprises, left turns you don't see coming. And I want to be able to try to bring that to my own stories too. And that was my goal here for Unholy Nightmare, especially when we get to the turn over halfway through the story, through the first volume, it's like, oh, this isn't going the way I thought it was going to go, and who I thought I could trust, I can't trust. And but by the time we get to issue 5, more than halfway through that, the characters start to learn more about each other as well, just in their origins, and start to learn to trust each other more.
Absolutely. Aaron, could you potentially bring up the campaign real quick? Because I
can. Yeah. No, don't say it yet. I'm gonna announce it. I got you. Okay. I got you covered. I already got it. I just want to say hi to Brett, the Chronicles of Vincent Spector, in the chat. Says, JC, how you doing, bro? Like we mentioned at the top of the show that that was something that JC had worked on that I'm also working on. So it's good to see you here, Brett. And let's take a look at the campaign here.
Yeah, how you doing, bro?
Is it on Drew's page or do you have it, Josh?
I've got one up. I've got a different page. I got a page up.
All right, here we go. So we have crossed $1,500, 37 backers. So we are well on our way towards the goal, which is absolutely awesome. Thank you, everybody who's contributing, everybody who's spreading the word. We absolutely appreciate it. It's so gratifying to be able to do this sort of thing and to have you guys come in and support independent creators and artwork and comic books. Again, can't thank you enough.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, thank you from the bottom of my heart, everyone. I appreciate it, and we're just getting started. So it's great. It's like only 37 backers, and we're over 1,500. That's fantastic.
Oh, hey, look, Capital Video says he backed it and Doomface, finally.
Aaron, I'll add, speaking of Doomface, if we want to just take a minor segue here, I added that cover for you, the KBD.
Oh, yeah, since we got JC on the show, I wanted to show off what he's doing. So this is the cover that JC has done for Kneel Before Doomface 2. Has not been colored yet, but this is the black and white. Wow. So yeah, check that out. It looks amazing. He did this is based on a David Finch piece of Moon Knight and the Ring.
Steve McNiven, I guess.
Oh, I'm sorry, it was a McNiven.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, Steve McNiven. So he did an absolute banger job on it. I love this cover so much. And this is the kind of great work that JC is doing, not only on Kneel Before Doomface, but also Chronicles of Vincent Spector and now Unholy Nightmare.
Heck yes.
So appreciate the backing, Capital Video. Thank you for backing Unholy Nightmare, and thank you for finally. I assume finally refers to Doomface, because if you're saying finally about Unholy Nightmare, then you feel really bad really quickly because we just launched tonight.
Can we show JC's cover for Unholy Nightmare again too, just in case there's some people that hopped in later in the stream and maybe didn't get to see that awesome bombastic shells flying everywhere Stephen Platt homage.
Yeah. All right,
here we go.
Say when, Drew.
8:30.
Bam.
Boom.
Look at that. That is a Stephen Platt homage. Look at all those shells. Look at how good that looks. Everything about it looks just absolutely fantastic.
Love it.
Thank you. Oh yeah, and the big moon.
You gotta have the big moon.
Yeah, you gotta have the giant moon. Yeah, this is.
It has to be a giant moon in every Stephen Platt.
Every single cover on this book is like I want every single one of them, because I love everything that's been done here. Drew comes up with such great ideas for covers, and then obviously Aurelio, JC, you guys just knock it out of the park. We got so much great work on this book that you make it hard for people, because if they're like, oh, I can only get one book, and then they're like, well, which one do I get? Yeah. you put them in a very bad position, Drew. Shame on you.
I'm sorry. It's a shame being so creative. Jesus, shame on me. But yeah, honestly, in my opinion, I'm not trying to upcharge some people, but I got to, since it's our book. But hey, I love the Comic Mint. I love Steve Finkel. I wish Steve was here in the chat with us. But you could be able to get any random back issue of the Comic Mint stock. On top of that, the blood red metal variant of JC Grande's cover. I mean, I don't know how you can say no to that.
No, it's and you're doing some great stuff with the spot UV and some really special stuff. So I think, that was the kind of thing when I got your Doomface cover, JC. I was immediately saying to my friend, "Oh, obviously I'm going to do a black and white of this. I could do a blood red, red rain kind of cover. There's so many different things that I could do with it. It looks so good. It's so detailed. I know that my colorist is going to want to kill me, and possibly you.
Oh yeah,
but I'm sure they've got some tricks to figure it out because it's so detailed.
Yeah, definitely.
And of course, you got the JC Grande pack right here. You got the physical set of Unholy Nightmare 2, trade dress, Virgin, along with the 11x17 print and a metal card.
Great.
I mean, I love the fact that you and Aurelio, like, this is your shared book, your shared vision. You guys have put this together, and really, like, just such a great collaboration to produce such fine work. And I just want to see that I want to see you guys have all the success. I want this campaign to surpass the first one. I want to keep building it, so that you are getting more and more readers as you go along, because it is absolutely fantastic, and you guys have put so much work into it.
Yeah, and it's like I said. Pride is a sin, and unfortunately I have oodles of pride. But I gotta admit, I'm very proud of the work we've done here. I'm very proud of these books, and I wouldn't put my name on it if I weren't proud of it. And I really hope people do take a chance on these books.
Yeah. We have lots of stuff for you.
And I just, since Critical just said that, or Capital just said that he also backed Doomface, I just went and checked that, and we are now over 21,000. We're under $300 away from 22,000. So thank you so much for pledging. That is incredible. Wow, I can't believe the outpouring of excitement and support that we've had from you guys. It's incredible.
Yes,
Drew,
it means a lot.
There's no shame in being proud of your work, when you've done good work. The shame would be being proud of substandard work and thinking it's fantastic.
Yes.
For example, every time Ryan Johnson says, "I wouldn't change a thing about The Last Jedi," he should be ashamed of that. But
Yes.
You, on the other hand, you and Aurelio have delivered something really special, really great, and I think that you should have all the pride in the world. It's not pride when you know that you did a good job. It's not false pride, so that's good. It's fantastic.
Honestly, it's one of those things I love to say. It's like I love to be able to hold the books I've worked on up to anything from Marvel or DC and be able to say,
"Did I lose
yes.
everybody?"
Nope, you're here.
Oh, you lost sound?
I hear you. So it's the point of pride that I can be able to hold our books up to anything that Marvel and DC has done and be like, yes, our books meet and or exceed that quality.
Yeah, Drew, I'm going to say this too. I've talked about it on my show before, but just your ability to grow as a writer. From the first stuff that I read of yours, going back to that very first issue of Born of Blood, and when you're dealing stuff that's passionate for you, sometimes it's hard to take advice or take notes or criticisms. And I would say you were the opposite. You were trying to get your work in as many hands as possible of people that you trusted to give honest feedback, to say, what do you think? What do you like? What do you dislike? Where do you think I can be better? And you've continued that trend from then, 3-4 years ago, all the way up till now. And I think that's a really awesome sign. Just the trust you have in the people around you, taking whatever notes they had with a grain of salt, and just saying, like, how can I improve? And I think with each story, whether it's Unholy Nightmare or Depths of Valor or Silent Nights, you're constantly looking for ways to do something differently, to change your style so that it fits the story better. And I love seeing that growth. And I'm going to go to even Aurelio for a second, because you guys did issue 1 and you had quite a large time window to get this done. And once you guys started kind of getting in with the comic men, it became very clear, like, okay, we're going to have to work a little faster now. And Aurelio stepped up to that challenge like nobody's business, because I was like, man, I don't know. When you speed up art, sometimes you can see it. In the big two, you see when artists rush all the time. And to me, nothing about anything that I've seen from issue 2 looks or feels rushed. So kudos to both of you guys to just adapt the way that you have. So.
Yeah, and so we could say it now. Aurelio, he's already started art on issue 3. So he's already done the first page. Storyboards are already done for the full issue, and he's hard at work on the next few right now. And they're going to be bangers.
All the storyboards are done. This is my storyboard art.
Oh, Aaron's got to deal with it.
Oh, I was going to say, Aurelio, Aaron can't hear us. We'll talk to him in the chat. We'll comment. Aurelio, you'll get to sleep in like 2030, man. And then
what? Sorry,
I said you'll get to sleep in 2030, the year 2030. You'll finally get some sleep in. Unfortunately, for the colorist of JC's covers, he won't get to sleep until like 2050.
Yeah, the colors for issue 3, they're gonna be bangers. I guarantee it. It's just when you know where the story is going, we know the issues where everyone's gonna be going on their personal journeys. It's like you can't help but get excited. And it's just going back in issue 2. It's just such humble beginnings, seeing how everything starts off. Everything's starting off so small, then gradually building up. I just love how issue 2 is just gradually building up, and just one thing I don't like in modern comics, like if you're starting off a new series, it's when a writer will log jam in all the characters into the first issue. You see and hear everything. It's like no, whoa. That's too much. No, do not overwhelm the reader. That's where I thought with issue 1, we're not going to overwhelm anyone. We're going to start off with a few of the characters, not all of them. And by issue 2, we're going to get to see more. And then 3 and 4 and 5, we're going to see even more gradually, sprinkled in there. So it's just, gradually building it up, building out the cast.
Well, yeah, but there's also like just from a technical aspect, when you're writing, you kind of want to do that because when you get new characters, they're each gonna bring a unique energy with them into the story. But also with an introduction of each new character, you're also getting a different dynamic. So we do get 3 new characters in the second issue, but we don't necessarily get a full spotlight on them. So it's a nice tease for some of these before they start kind of going into later issues and backup stories that really help flesh them out. But I would say that's one thing that I loved about what I read that you've done, and not to like tease further issues, but Jesus, you've got like 13 written. I'll tease the 6 that I've read. Is you continue to grow, and I like that the book feels like it has growth and it feels like it's going somewhere, even if where it's going is completely unexpected. And I think that surprise, that element of like getting caught off guard, if you didn't think this was where the story was going to go, so it kind of like excites you a little bit. But it's not a surprise for the sake of just shock value or just to subvert expectations. It makes sense for the narrative.
Yes, 100%.
Listen, guys, I'm going to have to leave now. It's been a pleasure. Congratulations on the project, and it's going to be something really great. Thank you very much for having me. I really appreciate it. And let's keep on doing more stuff.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, trust me. Yeah, I'm gonna keep you busy. Don't worry about it.
Okay, guys, it's been great. It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, JC.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
Yeah. He's a good
part of me
kid.
feels like his hand has to be cramped from like all those little tiny drawings. So
we had just crossed 1,600. How about that? We're 40
heck
backers.
yes.
Yes.
I love it. So, Drew, have you guys kind of, typically I know if a campaign does well, you'll end up having stretch goals that come up and produce. Do you have any stretch rewards that might be worth discussing?
Yeah, so far we got trading cards. As soon as we get to our main goal, $5,000, we got a trading card. And then we're going to be doing a bookmark at $8,000, then a magnet at $12,000, sticker at $16,000. mini print at 20, and 25 and beyond. We'll see what happens. But yeah, so yeah, there are plans and schemes for the backers.
Nice.
Yeah,
I
people
don't
love
know
those
if
track
Aaron.
dates.
I don't know if Aaron can hear yet.
Oh, Max is back. So I don't know
Max
if
is back.
Aaron can.
I don't know if Aaron can hear us to pull Max back in. That's the bad thing. I might drop it in the main chat real quick. I want to see if he can get. Yes, Max, we know you're backstage. We're trying to get. Aaron can't hear Max, so we're trying to communicate with. Oh,
Hey! Opa!
I don't know. Wait, can Aaron? Oh, he's got nothing. Weird. He might have to back out and then come back in.
But if he backs out, will it close out the stream?
I don't think
No,
so.
I think you have to manually hit end stream.
Yeah. I think Max is right.
So yeah, Aaron, you can back out. Oh, what am I doing? He can't hear us.
I was gonna say he's not gonna hear anything. I'm kind of hoping we can get the campaign pulled back up at some point, because there is one cover that we haven't talked about that I really want to talk about because I think it's super cool, and it's that EC Comics homage cover.
Yes.
Like, oh my god, such a fun throwback. So
that's a great one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that took some work. I'll say that.
I believe it.
Yeah, that took some time. Yeah, Ale, I just texted Aaron, so hopefully he got it.
I was wondering why I had like 37 text messages on our group chat.
Oh shoot, I don't even have them.
I think, yeah, because on my computer I can get texts on my desktop. So I'm like, oh, look what's going on over here. So, but yeah, so I think Aaron, or let me see if I can message him and say that he can back out and it won't end the stream.
Nice.
We're professionals, we really know how to use technology for sure.
Always. I mean, have you seen my shows? They go perfectly without a hitch, and not me going, oh shit, I was supposed to do this. AL, good night. Thank you so much for coming on and being in the chat. As always, we really appreciate you, and thank you again for the cupcakes at Fan Expo. Wes took advantage of those immediately. So, but yeah, good times.
As he should. Yeah.
I will say one thing we haven't talked about that you guys talked about last time is part of kind of what drew you two to work together for this is your love for horror. You both kind of have an affinity to old school horror films. So do you want to talk about how that's something you guys connected over when kind of discussing and planning this book?
Yeah, well, it goes back to Born of Blood. Born of Blood 6, pretty much. We just started talking about like horror scenes we're going to reference. And like I'd reference like Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4, and he had referenced Society, and I'm just like, yes, we're gonna incorporate this into the book. Then I really realized that we had an affinity for horror, and I knew that when he's talked about these characters for this series, I'm like, there's never, to my opinion, there really hasn't been that great superhero horror comic. There've been some good ones. Like the balance just was never really right for those books. And I wanted to be able to have one here where the balance is right between superheroes and horror. And I think we're doing that right here.
Yeah. Exactly. Was good. Also, I think every time Dolan share some pages from issue 6, he always choose a special soundtrack for the post every time. The first one was the Hellraiser soundtrack, the score from the movie. I text him, "You have a nice test, man."
Yeah, so I always tried to find that right theme, the right song for that issue, and like for me, issue 3, it's gonna be pretty much Lemmy. You're listening to Motorhead. That's what issue 3 is gonna be. So issue 2 has got it's a bit of a I'd say it's a little bit softer. It's not speed metal in issue 2, but it's a bit of it's a darker tone. Get into it. It's creepy and eerie. I'll say that. Yeah, for me.
Well, gentlemen, it looks like so I just backed the book. I got issue 2, and then I also got the add-on for the Gollum story.
Yeah.
Which is just chef's kiss because it's going to be in black and white. When I saw that, I was like, yes. And we are officially now at 40 backers and over $1,600. There you go.
Woo. Love it.
Great.
Yeah. And with that being said, I will have to bounce here, unfortunately. But I am very blessed to know you all and to be invited onto the stream. And thank you guys so much for having me. And I'm sorry I got to dip out while Aaron's gone. But
Aaron's
hopefully...
there. He's just deaf. We're gonna start, sign language for him.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, he's there in spirit.
Yeah,
but
like, hi, how are you?
Oh man, sign language better than
Apple.
Yeah. But yeah, with that being said, congratulations, Drew and Aurelio.
Thank you.
Should I say Aguri? Is that's congratulations? Okay, good.
Thank you.
Of course. Of course. And yeah, I hope that you guys enjoy have a great rest of the stream. And I will see y'all maybe later this weekend, or depending on what the future holds. And then, yeah, maybe Drew in Vegas, depending on if we can get out there to you at the convention.
Yeah, which is like less than 2 weeks from now. So, yeah.
I know, right? Yeah. It's pretty crazy to think that they're so close together like that. But it looks like a fun, you got J. Scott Campbell, Ryan Kincaid,
Frank Cho, Ryan Otley.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Big names. So
Murat Michaels, me. It's gonna be a big show.
Heck yeah, man. Well, cool. Well, thank you all again so much for having me. And like I said, enjoy the rest of your night. We'll talk soon.
Sounds good, man.
Awesome.
Have a good night, Max.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. All right.
Bye.
See you soon. Bye.
He's a good kid.
Oh yeah, good. Max is a good kid. What a good guy. A little retarded, but it's fine. Can Aaron bring the campaign back up? Let me see if I can.
Is he still?
He's still operating. None of us can operate, so he's the one that's operating right now. But I just see he can't hear. That's what's great about it. This is almost like some episode of a comedy, like Noise is Off or something. Where
oh god,
the guy running the show can't hear anything. What are we gonna do? Don't worry, we'll signal to him with big gestures. Or like that episode of Buffy, Hush, where no one can speak, so they're all having to pantomime and draw stuff out, and they're like, Buffy's gonna patrol tonight. And then she's like, and they're like, whoa! And then she grabs a steak from her purse, and then she's like, they're like, oh, okay. I'm gonna. Oh, Aaron just went away, so he can't pull it up. I will say, I guess, because I think we'll probably end up be winding down before too long. One, because poor Aurelio is gonna have to get some shut eye. But is there anything that we haven't mentioned that's in this that you feel like should be kind of brought up in terms of Aaron? Can you hear?
Aaron?
No, maybe not. I hear a fan. This is a great comedy show.
Well, I'm just so far in issue 2, like I said, we're going to be introduced to the rest of the team, but also we're going to be seeing more supporting characters in this. We're going to see a lot of the police officers in this. Like I said, Lieutenant Magnum is going to be an important character in the subsequent issues into the investigation of this wolf that they found, the wolf hairs that they found. And we're going to be discovering that there's a certain crime scene investigator that there may be something more to him by the end of the second issue.
Yep.
But yeah, there's gradually teasing these characters, and like I said, by the end of issue 2, we're introduced to a major player in this that no one's going to see coming unless if you've read issue 1, if you look closely enough at the certain drugs, the color of a certain drug, it'll be like, shit, why didn't I see that? Why didn't I pick that up? Why didn't I see that coming?
Yeah,
it's there.
We also, I was going to say, we get more of Recluse too, and specifically his discovery from the first issue of maybe. I mean, we know from the covers that Jenny's just not your average undercover cop, but I think his discovery, Recluse's discovery at the end of that, kind of pulls up some interesting plot points in the second issue.
They both discover that there's more to them than meets the eye, and Jenny's just like she just doesn't know what the hell's going on anymore with her, but hopefully these two can learn to work together and and overcome these new challenges that they have in their lives, and hope maybe Vlad may have answers for them. Maybe
Possibly.
He will. I don't know. You gotta read to find out.
I'm pulling for those crazy kids.
Yeah,
I think they've got something special.
Yeah.
Oh, Aaron thinks his headphones are dead. I'm just gonna ask. Campaign real quick. We'll see if he sees that. And if he does, perfect.
Hey, Opa.
Drew, will you scroll? We're just gonna, I guess, kind of take a final look at some of these covers that we offer. I don't know if we want to go through them. We got that great interior art by Aurelio there. But I would say, I mean, cool, really good stuff there. And the Dracula, what was the Dracula Crow? What?
Oh, Dracula Parrot.
Dracula Parrot. That's what it was. It's like Crow was wrong. Yeah, I remember when you told me that was. Yeah, I remember when you told me that was a real thing, and I was like, bullshit. And then you're like, no, Google it. And I Google it, and I don't know if you remember, but the comment I made to you was, I want one. I'm like, I want one.
They look cool. They look really awesome.
Cool. No, it's great.
Put one of those with the. Have you seen those like shoebill birds that look like they're dinosaur birds because they stand like 4 or 5 feet tall? They're crazy.
If we do like a Build-A-Figure set, you can build your own Rennie.
Hell yeah. I keep pausing because I'm like, Aaron. But yeah, let's go ahead and run through these covers one more time to let people know what options are there for the covers, so we can kind of give a quick overview.
So yeah, cover A, we got Aurelio's cover, Love and Rockets homage. Got the team lineup. And cover B is JC Grande, his Stephen Platt Prophet homage cover. Cover C, we've got the Andrew Mangum and Dan Kemp, the Gollum and Jenny cover.
I remember him working on that cover, and because I feel like he had pencils first that was just of Gollum, and he hadn't done Jenny yet. It was, I remember being very excited to see what he was going to do by the end of it. So.
Yeah, and he killed it. And the cover D and cover E are covers by Frank Uzan. Yeah, these took a minute. These took a hot minute to do. I told Frank Uzan what my plan was for this cover, that is going to be like a EC Comics Tales from the Crypt, about the horror homage cover. And he nailed it, the layout, and got the heads there on the side. And then after that, it was off to Russ Cassidy, who's running our campaign. He designed the layout of the cover, where he did the whole type. He did the Unholy Nightmare type font and the horror and everything, and give it a little distressed look. Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
to give an example of kind of what we're pulling from.
Yeah, and Frank absolutely nailed it. He got me what I wanted, and I couldn't be happier. And this is not the last cover he's done for us. There's another one he's done, and we're saving that for later. And next one, cover F. We shared this earlier. Isaac Bell, Dan Kemp on the colors. Sexy Jenny, sexy monstrous Jenny. And cover G and H TriStar got Jenny on the cop card, nice, and Jenny slightly risque version cover right here. And I got after that we got the cover sets you can get the trade dress and virgins you can get.
Yeah, it's all good stuff.
You can get with these you can get the trade dress and version of each one.
And then some of the packages you have are multiple versions of these covers. Some are a combination of covers. You've got a package that you can pick your 3 favorite covers. So a lot of really cool, fun options there. I think there's even benefits if you spend, was it over $85? I think you get one of those in a foil.
Yeah, I believe it's where is it at? Yeah, I think it's our 72-hour special, I think. First 72-hour special. Yeah, 45. Yeah, and in the launch special you receive one cover B of JC Grande and one cover F spot foil by Isaac Bell.
Nice.
Get that.
Nice.
But yeah, we got the trade cover sets, and then you got the virgin cover sets. Then you can get the complete cover set. But yeah, right here you have the pick 3 covers for $40. That's a great deal as well.
Yeah, get a little savings there if you decide to go that route. And then add-on wise too, we're kind of looking at it on the main screen right here. But that 10-page backup issue of Gollum that goes into his origin. Again, I'm just gonna sing the praises of that because I think it shows for me, and when I read that, I think for me it showed all the potential and possibilities with the story as a whole, like what you and Aurelio are doing. And you've got the main book that's just really kind of your plot-driven story, and you've got this that's kind of like this nice little add-on at the end that is such a heartfelt story. And I don't want to say too much because I don't want to give it away. It's 10 pages, but my God, I was like, okay. At that point, it was like endless possibilities of what you guys can do with these characters and this narrative, and what all you can bring to the table. And I love it. And yeah, I'm excited. And I'm just telling everyone, if you back this book and you don't get the 10-page backup story as well, you're crazy. Just get it. Get both. Just do it.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to regret it. It is one of the most beautiful books you're going to pick up, whether it's regardless of the story. And seeing all the crazy cross-hatching that Vudon did by hand. Way.
Yeah. But super, super fun stuff. Is there anything you guys are wanting to kind of add on to this for the night?
Aurelio, what do you got?
No. I fear is if I say something, I can spoil. So I always fear.
That is the hard part. Aurelio, if it makes you feel any better, there's been so many times with Drew that he'll show me like something right before we go on for one of our regular like Tuesday streams that I'm like, oh, dude, did you just show me this cover? And I'm like, nope, just stop talking.
I prefer always wait what Dolan say first, because
Right.
I could say so much stuff about. No, but what I can say is just that as you have seen, we have so much ideas, so much people that we would like to involve into. So much spin-off story about the characters to explore the background. As I say for the first campaign of issue 1, just trust us because we have so much stuff to show you, and I think that you will not be disappointed.
Yes,
Because,
I
yeah,
completely agree. There is a plan for all the characters.
We have for each characters,
Yeah.
and there is so much stuff that must to be shown because we have other great characters that maybe appear just on one panel or similar, or we just show something, but everything is well planned. It's
Correct.
not just to make fun, etc.
Is that Aaron?
I think that's Aaron. I was like, I think he's making a drink. I was trying to see where we ended off at with the first campaign, but I'm not seeing it. But yeah, I think we definitely got a better start to this one than we did with the last one. So
looks like, yeah. Yes.
But yeah, good stuff. Drew, do you want to text Aaron real quick?
Aaron, are you doing the dishes right now? Are you doing the dishes or making a margarita?
You know what? If you're making a margarita, make me one, and we'll sit and have one across the country as well. No, I know I keep saying I'm really excited, but I am. It's fun work to read, and Drew in particular, I've really gotten to know you quite well over the past few years. So Aurelio, we've had 2 or 3 streams that we've kind of gotten to do together, but even just there's times that I'm with Drew or talking to Drew, and you're sending him stuff, and he's like, "Oh my God, look at this!" But I think it helps, and people. I wish Aaron were here because he would definitely comment on this. It helps when you have good people making good content. Because I think if you like the individuals that are making it, you only want to see them succeed more, and you only want to support them more. And the fact that we have you two guys, and you're just such good individuals, and even we had JC and TriStar on earlier. You want to see good people succeed, and I'm happy to see the opportunities that are coming up for both of you guys. And again, I think it goes back. This says a lot. The fact that Aurelio, you originally worked with Aaron all the way back in Boom, and then he remembered the interactions he had with you and working with you, and that it was a pleasant experience, and also the work you did. And then you get to the point where they're doing Born of Blood. Things happen where they need another artist, and Aaron's like, automatically, I got a guy. Don't worry about it. And then, you guys get brought in, and then you two hit it off, and you're like, all right, we want to keep working on this. And I think it's such a nice testament, and it's one of those things that I love when we get to have moments like this talking about a book, because it gets to show who you are as individuals. And I think that ingratiates a lot of people towards you guys. So I think it's a wonderful thing. So
thank you so much. Really, really, really thanks. And I want to say sorry for my English, because sometimes it looks like I lost somewhere. But
well, if you're gonna say sorry for your English, I'm gonna say sorry for my Italian, which is 0.
No. Don't worry about. No. Every time there's a meeting, I write to Dolan first, apologize in advance for my English.
No, I think that's part of the charm. I love it. And you've been good. Like, I've understood everything you're saying. You've got your points across beautifully. So you're no stress there, man. You've been fantastic.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
I think sometimes you actually speak better English than Drew. I mean, if I'm being honest.
Sure. I don't think so.
But
I don't.
I don't have controls. Drew, do you want to just play the trailer one last time?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's get that going. Oh, do we have? I'm not getting sound from it, but I don't know why. We don't have sound, but we'll pretend like there's creepy overtones and a menacing voice that's telling you what's going down in Chicago, right?
Exactly. There's.
But yeah.
We have at the back. We see the back of Recluse.
Oh yeah. We got TriStar's cover there, which is really nice. Unholy Nightmare 2.
Exactly.
The comic book event of 2025. See, Drew, I'm feeling I'm earning my pay, my keep tonight. What you guys don't know is in the future, once this issue releases, I will be self-producing and self-acting out the entire issue. I will voice every character. So, when I do my best Jenny impersonation, just get ready.
I can't wait to listen about.
People are like, I'm gonna give my money. I'll give my money back if you don't do that. All right, that's cool. Drew, are you able to reach Aaron at all, or no?
What do you want me to share with him?
I don't know. I don't know what you guys want to do for the. I don't know what you. I can't control anything, so.
He says that no matter what I do, I can't hear. I'm watching the journal chat. I'm watching to see if you guys tell me to do something.
Gotcha. I don't know. Are we wanting to go ahead and wrap things up for the night, or is there anything else?
I think we can wrap it up.
Yeah. I think there was a lot of really good conversation. So if you join later, go back. We had a lot of people kicking this thing off with this. We had some of the cover artists on. If you missed out, Aurelio, who's right above me, was the interior artist for both issues 1 and 2. If you missed out on issue 1, when you go to back issue 2, you can actually pick up issue 1. I highly recommend it. It's a fun story that kind of dovetails where issue 1 leaves off. This picks up. And I will say, as a writer, Drew understands the importance of, finishing a 20-page book and wanting to get the next issue. And of course, Aurelio delivers awesome sauce on the art, which I've always just said reminds me of 90s Saturday morning action cartoons, superhero cartoons. It's got that same kind of energy and vibe. Yeah, man, absolutely. I love your work.
Thank you. No, it means a lot. It means a lot. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. You're the one doing the work, man. We're just saying we like it. We got the easy job in that. So, but I know Aaron said your work reminds him of Brayfogle. I mentioned that your work sometimes reminds me of the 90s Nightwing comic. And I'm blanking on the artist on that now. Hold on, I got it. Oh, goodness.
Is it Scott? Not Scott Collins.
No, McDaniel.
Scott McDaniel.
Yeah. So some of that same type of energy kind of coming. Look, I didn't mean to grab the Huntress cover, but why not? But some of those same types of energies going in there. So yeah, good stuff. There we go. Aaron's getting me in the comments. Scott McDaniel. I was having a brain fart, man. I feel like the older I get, the more names are like, I see your face, but the name is not coming to me.
The silence is there's a
Dolan right? I think Drew's trying to get in touch with Aaron.
I just think we can wrap it up. I think we've gone off the rails.
Listen, it'll make this memorable though. Like we'll be able to clip portions of this and look back at it a few years from now and be like, that was freaking it was freaking hilarious. It's good. So yes, Aaron, we always recommend using protection.
Yes.
He's gonna hate me. He's gonna be like, shut up.
All right. Well, I guess we can just say thanks for everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it.
It was a pleasure.
Yep. If you haven't backed it yet, hope you do back it in the future. Hope you back it soon, next 29 days. And we'll see you guys probably tomorrow on the Aficionados. And if not, then we'll see you sometime again in the future, hopefully.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
All right, Aaron, that's the cue.
Yeah. Aurelio's like,